resource chests. At least they can be put in resource chests. And what I would like to do is get over there and have a delivery area for each particular group that we have made a recurring trade agreement with, so that they can come in, drop off their resources, and pick up the coin out of it.
I just so we're trying to figure out how to put people where, and we're encroaching back on trade. We still can't put down signs.
Mm-hmm.
We've been given permission that this building can be as big as it needs to be, but
That
it's
that
just
doesn't help you from
becoming,
the sign standpoint or the painting standpoint.
yeah, it doesn't help there. And then also too many places to put the same paperwork is already proving an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And just like I'm already filling out missing report forms to hold the admin side accountable. I've run into an issue 3 times today. The paperwork is not where it is. It said it's been filed. I can't find it. And instead of looking it up, I'm filing that it's not done. It will be filed with the Commodore, and then admin team can be held accountable.
Yep.
And I'm not covering that anymore.
Yeah. So obviously the clue's new. You're gonna hit growing pains. How tracking the flow paperwork is a thing that happens in every single office. It's something we had to build out with the operations clerks before the storm. Um, all that I can say is that you and DeLeon need to be in lockstep about that. There's gonna be times that one of you doesn't do something, or one of you perceives something wasn't done, and it is fair to go with well, this wasn't done. We need to figure it out, but you both do need to be in lockstep about the work that you're doing. Otherwise, it's gonna start falling apart.
It already has. Today has been a shit show.
Okay, it's
Um,
gonna happen, and you all will need to do the best that you can to ensure that it stays above board. If that means that you have duplicities of reports to ensure that they get to where they need to go, that's what needs to happen.
this is kind of like what I would submit as just this would touch base. This is what I can't find. This is what
Mm-hmm.
it is. Very
Mm-hmm.
just to the tact, no opinion, just that kind of thing. Is
Yeah.
that
Uh,
kind of what I'm thinking?
yes. Right. If you if you approach it accusatory or in a very harsh standpoint, and not saying you did that there, you're going to get pushed back on that, right? And it's going to create tension. But if you instead approach it as bad as it sounds, more paperwork, in that, like, oh, we're missing a form. Okay, it sucks as more paperwork, but there's a procedure for that. We note down a missing report form. We put that to the administration. Ideally, they will find it tucked in a corner somewhere. It'll get to where it needs to go. Um, but obviously, that you need to just tell them, like, yep, hey, I this report was supposed to have been filed. I can't find it. Can you find it? And that just becomes another form you'll need to
Absolutely,
file and have the admin
100%.
side take care of.
Hmm. I just want to make sure that as I start putting, these things in place, so that the accountability becomes routine.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
when the issues that have presented themselves before, where suddenly it's the perceived opinions about how they were approached, it can be verified that they were actually approached intact and not he said, she said.
All right.
Um,
I
so,
I trust you and DeLeon to handle it. The last thing I'll say is there needs to be virtually no air between the two of you. You need to be able to trust each other implicitly to be able to accomplish a task. Now, that doesn't mean that that neither of you can do no wrong. It means that there needs to be a little bit of grace and forgiveness. And I'm not saying this isn't here, but there needs to be some grace and forgiveness when something is missed. You need to ensure that you have processes established so that we minimize that, but also so when it does happen, there's a process to uh, get that disseminated, that you're missing a document or a form or something wasn't followed, and get that followed up with. It may take some time. Paperwork goes missing all of the time. It's just important that the two of you, again, that there's no air between the two of you, that you are able to function, whether one of you is here, both of you here, or none of you here, that you're able to bridge that gap and work effectively. Otherwise, you will spend more than half your time just combating each other.
I can understand. Like the paperwork missing, I is not an issue. In very minor thing, but they will all add up together. Um, the biggest issue presented today that I don't know how to then now do all because of all this is I was told templates were done. She's had a week to get it done. I went, hey, where are the templates? She's like, oh, I've completed them. They're just here. I was like, okay, I need that template. And then it's, oh, I haven't done it yet. So she has reported to all of you that she has followed through with this and that, and told me, and that it's done. And I'm like, where is it? How can we look it up? And I'm left with a team member that is not someone I can rely on. Like,
Well,
to put it black and white, like, I don't
well,
trust her to
to
get
ma-
her job done, and I'm
make it
following behind her
to
footsteps.
make it more black and white, she's not a team member, she's your peer. So she's a part of the blue just as much as you are. And yes, she needs to.
Wait, I'm a part of the team.
Yep.
We
No.
all are
No.
a
No.
team under the Commodore.
I'm with you. She
Okay.
if she says she's gonna do something, she is to be expected to do it. If she doesn't do something that she said that she had done or will do, uh, the appropriate thing to do is just make sure the Commodore is aware. You
And
cannot
the
do
Commodore
her
was
job.
made.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm speaking
You
overly quiet.
cannot do her job for her. If you start doing her job for her, tensions are going to start rising again. So you need to ensure that you let her do her job. Now, from time to time, that may look like it doesn't get done, and that may throw up barriers in your path. And unfortunately, you are just going to have to deal with that, because if you, and again, not saying you are, but if you come at it combatively and you throw barriers up, it's only going to make it harder and harder for the two of you to interface together. So things may not get done on time. I've worked in situations with other clerks and other masters as well that have said that they will do something and then they run off and they're on a ship for 4 hours. That's going to happen. And it's just important that you understand what is your prerogative, as I'm sure you do, and what is theirs, and that you continue to execute what you can execute. And if you're being held up by something on the other side of this department, that the Commodore is aware of that, or your lieutenant should and when you have one, or however that works. And honestly, if there's another clerk here that is under De Leon that can do those things, obviously you can't really. I mean, I say you can't test out of the department, but I don't want you like circumventing her to get that done. But she's not the only person on that side of the department. If there's something else you need that Kate can get for you or something like that, um, you can ask that of them, right? It's not like you have to be totally siloed, but you need to make sure that you're in the same way that we have to make sure there's difference between the POU and the captains and the officer corps. The two of you have to work together. If you do not work together, you will spend more time fighting each other than you do getting things done.
I've taken note of everything you said to actively work on it. My biggest concern is what has already happened and continuing happening with the way that she approaches things is there's not enough tact in the world to make her not then go, this is going to sound callous, but there is always an excuse. There is always something that has pulled her away. There is always some state that she is in that is why something wasn't done. There is always it's just, I'm faced with, hey, she comes to me and, hey, I can't cover this. I was, cover it, got it, let me take care of it. I'll go to cake. I'll use all of the things that you guys keep telling me to do. And then it ends up, she's in front of the Commodore going, the master's mate is rank checking me because she did my job without asking, when in all honesty, she asked me to cover for her because of these issues that I'm now being told to give her consideration for. And like, there is a very big
I'm
issue
getting fed up with this.
with the way that she perceives things when she doesn't like the outcome. That will ultimately mean I'm not going to work with a team member that will manipulate the situation to the benefit of her outcome. Like, there is so much, like, as a person outside of this department, no problem. See her every day, get along, giggle, no big deal. Inside and working with her as a team member, the behavior didn't change, and I'm gonna give it time. And if it continues, like, I don't want to work with a team member, like on a team with a person that is this, like, accountability, where if I go, oh, that's for operations, or I'm handing things, she's like, I still want to know, or steps over constantly. The battle and who does what is still happening for her when I have done everything I can to facilitate her administrative side and not step over. And I'm so above my head with what this is happening.
All right,
I'm
so
actively working to change it, and I'm not seeing it from her side.
D'Artagnan, I honestly, I don't care how you do it. I don't care who flexes or who bends or what you have to do. If I have to lock the two of you in a room with a food bar and a cup of water for a week so that you two can figure out how to process paperwork together, we'll do that. You need to figure this out. That it will likely look like you bending some. You may have to I don't want to say do things you don't want to do, but you may have to stoop a little bit. But for the sake of this office and for the sake of your two's ranks, you need to figure out how you interface together. You need to figure out how your two areas can overlap and how you can effectively work together. Otherwise, you will do nothing but waste time in these conversations over and over again.
Noted, sir.
All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I really did not want to have to do that. I've spent more time in the last week in conversations with the Plu, with one of
You
the
should
two
probably-
of them, or something to that regard, dealing with that relationship. And I'm not spending more time on it. They need to figure it out. And it's I don't fault the Commodore. I know the situation that he's in, but they need to figure it out. I'm done with it. I don't mind talking to them when Commodore's not awake as their second or third in command and figuring things out, but not about that. Next time I have to talk about it, someone's getting removed. Come on, sheep, out of the way. Well, hi, how are you all? Coming into that conversation for the 9th time in the last week. I don't fault D'Artagnan for it. I get where she's coming from. I understand it, but at the same time, in jest, referencing Master Coop, who had more time than Archie had more time. Watch Archie be in chat. I've been in those situations before too, in this and in other times in life, but in operations where we have a joint task and another clerk wants to talk through things and talk and talk and talk, and they have half a task and my half relies on them getting theirs done, and it doesn't get done for 2 days. And at that time, you kind of have to take over and do it yourself or deal with it not getting done. I've been there, but the wrong thing to do is complain about it and say that your counterpart is not getting their thing done and say that well, it's just there's all the ineffectivities. It doesn't matter, y'all. We have to figure it out. You have to find a way to do it. If you're not, then someone needs to step out of a role, or you need to de-interface, because we can't be sitting here having personnel conversations with a Commodore and a secretary for an hour and a half every day for a week, trying to figure this out. They're all adults. They get along outside of work. Figure it out. Find a system of who owns what so that it gets done. I don't care. Let's read a mail summary. Actually, I think this one's from yesterday. Let's check downstairs for a mail summary. Ooh, and then we have ensign applications to do tonight. We got a patrol log to set out. Not sure if I want how much of that I want to stream, but probably not the ensign applications. Let's check the red shelf. Things to do. There's mail summary. Letter or transfer? Guessing it's supposed to be letter of transfer. Just sit in the box for a second. I just want to make sure this isn't anything. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Oh, that's... There we are. Why is this so far behind? Here we go. Oh, hey! How's it going? I have spoken to Commodore Smythe and Captain Murphy to get their blessing to put this in before doing so. Does that mean that you received their blessing, or that you asked them and were waiting on it? That's unclear to me. Yeah. Oh, yes, you did get approval. I mean, ultimately, it's up to you all. So if okay, perfect. Actually, I had more to do in here. Well, good. It looks like Murphy has an ensign. What else was in here? That was the only thing in there. I did it at 9:45 EST. Did this get disseminated already? Must have. Let's take a look at this. I don't think any of this is listed. Rapid visual RAM. 3082 euros end. Maybe presence at Defense Con. Yep, Ashen Wake. Draugr. Cannons using Fine Lion. Novine B2, no portraits, but mermaid back. Ooh. Unless it's saying 2-part rigs. Capture 1 person. Horizon Valerian, we're already aware of that. Horizon Valerian, custom ownership of the island of Kakai. Aware of that. Plus against point C6. Came from north, heading southeastern. Was being followed by a sloop known as confirmed source black sail galleon sighting. Yeah. From each maternity war game, source Merle boost idea. Let's read some of those. I want to read that one, that one, that one. We also want to see the ammunition tracker. Oh, that one we're already aware of. Boom. Back of this is about a galleon approaching the unlisted port on the north side of Polaris. Come from the north. The southeastern heading as the ship came into view. Back was coming in. The ship had black sails and was lined with gun ports. Speed sails painted black with the vessel itself was black as well. I don't know if that is Ivar. Okay. Alright. Black Sail Galleon. We know there's a few of those out there. Morale boosting idea. Who is this from? This is from Midshipmate Turner. I'm doing well. Daughter's down. My wife's on wake up duty tonight, so I'm just hanging out. I think we have ice cream on the way delivery. Our DQ got canceled, but I don't know. My wife said she was ordering ice cream, so we'll see. We'll see what we get. Otherwise, I'm doing well. Just gotta get some paperwork done tonight, and then might be a bit of an early night. I have to, at least stream wise, I do have to take a look at the ensign applications now that we have all of them and kind of coalesce that, take care of that. And I'm sure something else will blow up tonight. I also need to find Ramsey because apparently she lost an ensign and has yet to report it, so that's fun. Okay, I've been workshopping an idea of fun morale exercise for a while. I believe that not fully fleshed out. Enlisted versus masters mates, masters, and oh my goodness, yeah. Ensign Browning fell off the back of her schooner about a day ago, and no one noticed for quite a while. We don't know how he fell off or what happened, but he is currently missing. And when I woke up, Commodore Bose had sent, I think it was McGrath, out on a search and rescue. They went out there down to where they believe he would have been lost. Didn't find anyone. We were concerned that pirates had picked him up and brought him, like we're going to hold him for ransom, but they would have been here by now, and they're not. So, yeah, the one issue is we're missing Ensign Browning. The hospital has him on the missing persons report, so that's fun. Right, yeah, I guess, yeah, he hasn't turned up yet. OOC, I know he hasn't logged in yet. I don't know what happened. I know he streamed that night, but I know he finished before. He should have streamed down before they were on their way back. So I don't. Both in character and out of character, I have no idea where he is. I don't know what's happened. My guess is he probably fell asleep on the ship and slid off the back, and just is unaware that he did not make it back to the island. And when he comes back on, I think he's probably gonna be on duty again tomorrow. We'll wake up dead or wake up on a random island somewhere, and just have to come back report to the hospital. But we don't know, right? He could be. I mean, out of character, I know that he has not been awake since, for over a day. In character, we have no idea where he is. The second part of that is I have not seen a report from Ramsey, and I think she has one in the mailbox here, um, saying that she lost an ensign on her ship. I heard it from McGrath and from the Commodore, but neither of them were on the lieutenant's ship. I have no idea why she hasn't reported that, so we will have to address that. But back to the morale boost idea. Yeah, fun. Yep, that's the medal of a captain. Enlisted versus Master's Mates, Masters, and Ensign war games. This would work the same as regular war games with brigantines, as this is the class of vessel the latest master name is commonly used in combat. There's a much larger pool of personnel from the enlisted. I feel the roles of helmsman and exo would be assigned using a lottery system from midshipmates that have either applied for the ensign program or are being thought of in regards for that rank. The same system would be used to pick from the ensigns. The exercise would serve people the same as regular war games. It would be good training for cannoneers, boatswains, as well as giving the enlisted an idea of the responsibilities and challenges an exo or helmsman faces during combat. It would also show the enlisted that commissioned officers have indeed risen through the ranks and understand the challenges that every position on a vessel faces. Look forward to hearing your thoughts on this idea. I'm not opposed to this idea. Even with limiting it to ensigns and not including lieutenants or captains, the enlisted are going to get fucking owned in that fight. Masters, mates, masters, and ensigns. Even if we don't include current ensigns, even throw lieutenants at that point, and you take the new ensigns, having the masters, mates, and the masters, you will have the vast majority of bosuns, all of the experienced medics, everyone that has ever done those roles will be on that side, right? You don't have a lot of house bosuns or really experienced bosuns who are still enlisted. They're out there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that all the enlisted are not good at bosuns. The vast majority of the good ones have already been acknowledged as a house bosun or have been accredited and have moved up to master's mate in a department or something like that. So, is Ash still a midshipmate? I think so. Yeah, she needs to be put up in a house for that. I'm not opposed to this idea. I think it would be fun. I think we would be kidding ourselves if we think that the enlisted stand a chance. Yeah. Yeah. Did we put that one through? I think that one did get put through. Yeah, I'm not opposed to this idea. So, honestly, though, as much as I understand this section, larger pool of personnel, I think that. Let me go upstairs get some food. Actually, let me put some of these back. What did I not read? I didn't read the ammunition tracker. Let's do this quick. More shot. Changed from yesterday. Plus. Oh, that's old. That's why. Here. Here we go. Oh, no large chain shot. Oh, just in warehouse storage. We've got 2,600 there. 52 explosive barrels. All right. Good. Yeah, I understand the sentiment around, do a lottery and figure all of that. That all takes time. If and when we do this, we'd probably set a time for it. It's going to be Thursday at noon or, Thursday at 8 p.m. or, whatever. Here's the time for it. Enlisted versus NCO war games at this time. When we call the parade, at that point, whoever's in charge of it, myself or, high command or a captain, will just be like, all right, everyone take your sides. Here's the brig that we'll have. Why do we have so much? You know what? I don't want. I want. Give me the We're out of coffee. That's the problem. Give me a breakfast. You know what? Go with that breakfast. Let's do I have one on me? Yeah, there it is. Here we go. We would need to. We're not gonna like set it up ahead of time and do a lottery and figure out who's there. We would literally just be like, okay, who's here? Here's the NCO line. If you like, who we couldn't be like, who wants to helm the ship? We would just pick somebody, right? Whether we have people step forward or we can in theory do it with the people who have applied to be ensigns. They step forward. We pick from amongst them. You're gonna helm the ship. All right. Pick your bosun. And at that point, like, let's just for the sake of it, let's just say it's Richardson, just because that name's in my head, right? Richardson steps forward. We're like, Richardson, you're gonna captain the enlisted brig. Pick your crew. At that point, Richardson's now the captain, and we let them go forward. Yeah, I think we could do that. Actually, I am going to let's make this happen. Did I put it back in the thing? I put it back in the thing, didn't I? Yeah, let's make this happen. Here, morale boost idea. Let's do this. Let's see. Head end. What day is Thursday this week? That is the 11th. They're enlisted. Let's run a couple copies of this. Guessing my clerks are on the water right now, but they should be back in 1, 2, 3. That's enough. Let's put one back in the mail. The Admiralty. Does she have? I don't know if she has a box in here. She has a box in the room. Notice board. Marine information. Yep. Admiralty. Yep, she does. Okay, great. VAs. Perfect. That's done. Oh, I still have my gloves on. I don't keep our gloves on. Good day, Durin.
Hello.
How are you?
Alright, just was down at the docks helping Nexus put in more docks.
More docks. Are we out of space already?
He moved the schooners over,
Oh, okay.
but there's a little bit more room. We have 3 ships out, right? Or no, 2 ships out. The Apollo's over in dry dock.
Oh, the Apollo. Is that Smythe's new ship?
Yeah. Did his sink or did he recommission it?
He recommissioned it.
Oh, okay.
Do we know? I guess then you probably don't know. Do you know what we did with the Wave Runner, his old ship?
I guess we sink it or retire it.
I gave him the option of, like, obviously to work with Blackwater, but we can scuttle it, or we could stick 4 or 5 bosuns on it, put it out by the harbor cannons, and bomb the hell out of it, and see if they can keep it afloat.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. To,
So I was actually gonna run down and check with Nexus, or if Blackwater's down there, and see if that ship is still around, because we can obviously just scuttle it, but if I can think of funner ways to get rid of it than just sink it.
Yeah.
Right, like
Is Sawyer back yet? The National Week's been out for a while.
I only woke up like 45 minutes ago, and I've just been doing some paperwork. So,
Huh, okay. Yeah, he went out. I thought like 8 o'clock. I thought he went out.
man,
But
isn't that early for him? Doesn't he usually leave at like 1 a.m.?
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He was taking a
Huh.
call early. I don't know.
I guess it is the weekend, right? Maybe it's different for him today.
Oh, did McGrath or anyone talk about Browning?
Yes, I am aware of this.
Okay.
It's been a day
my-
now. The hospital has him on the missing list.
Yeah, my opinion is if he doesn't show up by tomorrow morning, then we crank the urgency in finding him. Is what I
Yes,
would.
I
My theory was the 4 to 6 p.m. If he decided to take 24 hours to get back to us, that's kind of the tail end.
yeah. He also isn't always on duty on the weekends, so I
Mhm.
have a feeling that he may be unaware of his current situation.
Yeah,
I don't know anything for sure, but I would expect him. I expect him tomorrow to remedy the
either
situation where it is. So
wash up or
yes,
come sailing in on a
Yep.
brig or something. I don't know.
yeah. So the hospital is aware. They have him on their missing persons list, which I hope is
Pretty sure
just
those
I hope
cadets
is just him. Oh, did we find those cadets, or are they
I'm pretty
presumed?
sure they're dead. They
Okay,
either didn't check in or they're dead.
that's unfortunate, but
Unfortunate, but I mean,
yeah, I'm sure you connected with McGrath. McGrath went down there on the Commodore's orders to look for him and couldn't find anything. So I have a sneaking
it's
suspicion
B4,
that
right?
he. What was that?
They said B4, right?
Yes,
Just
yeah. I think they were on their way back from Z6, so they believe it was in B4. And our other suspicion was there is a pirate group down there. The fucking pirates are down there. But if they had him, I don't know why they wouldn't have.
no. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
we would know.
we would have known that like an hour afterwards.
Yeah,
There's no use to hold a Navy member for that long.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say that I'm not worried about it. I'm also slightly worried about the fact that he was on Lieutenant Ramsey's ship, and Lieutenant Ramsey submitted her report for that voyage and made no mention of the fact that she lost an ensign, and has as of yet not spoken to me about it. I've only heard about it
Thinking,
from
I
McGrath.
don't. It's one of those. I kind of went over it with McGrath. I think it was one of those like they weren't in a fight or anything, and he may have gone missing, and she may have just expected him to wash up. You
Well,
know, like a lot of us do.
yep, I understand that, but
She definitely should have
yep,
probably. But
yep.
I
I
aware that.
Yeah,
Look to it.
I understand why McGrath was the one that came to me because I was waking up just as he was returning from that, and he was reporting in. But I would have expected that if that's the way she went, she would have noted that in her report, and her report makes no mention of the fact that she returned with one less crew than she left with.
I guess ask her
So,
about it.
yep, we'll have a conversation about that.
On a seawall patrol with the gladiator.
Yeah, I heard that she just departed, so I'll catch her when she comes back. Oh, which reminds me, the next thing, we are planning a 48 for this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the plan is to do it out of unlisted down in C6.
Okay.
So I think the Blue is going to head down there tomorrow to do some scope out and figure out what the state of a base down there would be, what their Navy resupply looks like.
Get my deployment box set up. I just gotta figure out a place to put it.
Yeah, so that was my question to you is we will probably need to either run at least a whole bunch of resources down there. Not a whole bunch, but relatively a bunch of resources so that we can make sure we're stocked. And potentially also send a crew down there to build up a station.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like from your end?
I mean, depending on the space available, it could be either as expansive as Ironhold, or it could be as minimalistic as technically Sons of Ragnar was.
Mm. So yeah, we don't. Ironhold was nice. We don't need that much space. Like it's nice to have a set of rooms and things like that. I don't want everyone in a cuddle puddle.
My idea was the one warehouse prefab can fit medical, a kitchen, and the warehouse in it.
Yep.
Storage, and then one maybe
Good day, sailor.
two,
honestly, I'm not a. I think what might be a good idea. I realized we were at Ironhold for a while, but if you ignore the tiki huts, what they had there for us, that setup works well, right? Where we have
Yeah,
like
that was my original.
we have
The
two to
original
three
without the
guys.
tiki hut. I originally built that as the go-to model
Mhm.
for ones. That's why I went over with Puffins.
Yep. Yeah. So I like that, right? It's a prefab. It's nice and easy. They don't all have to be the same, but if there's similarities, then anytime you hit a resupply point, you don't have to like figure out where everything is and like work through a
Yeah,
bunch
that's
of
why I
stuff,
adapted
whatever.
them. Now with the warehouse prefab being available, I can fit 3 of those buildings into one building.
Yep. Yeah. And we could, we can easily have, I'm sure you've got it all
Hell, you
sketched out, but you have two or
could,
three of them. One could just be barracks. We could throw out a bunch of tiki huts too, and then just pick them up when we leave.
yeah, you can do the 2 warehouses. One's a barracks, one's literally everything else, and then maybe a small prefab house for a prison, like our
Yeah.
holding
Just,
cell.
just in case. Yep. Because we don't want to not have that when we need it. We likely won't need it, but we don't want to not have it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, just a couple of wharfs just as a basis. I mean, hell, 1 or 2 wharfs at most is all I need, and so yeah.
all right. Yeah. So I actually have to run back down to the Blue and make sure that I'm up to speed on their plans for that. I believe that they're going to be in contact with them tomorrow. The plan will be to depart sometime on Friday. So ideally, I know uh, before the storm, we'd kind of like go out that morning and like resupply build it. I would love it if we can do that earlier in the week so it's done before we even depart.
Yeah, take the bison down and just
Yeah.
get it ready.
Yep. We can
Literally show up and it's already ready.
I mean, if you're good with that, once we get all the confirmation from Unlisted and we have an idea of how much space we're working with, whatnot, we can inform you about that. I'd be more than happy to give you a captain and a brig as an escort
Yeah.
down there, or I guess up there in this case.
Yeah, and I'll take Sawyer. I'll try if we. I mean, I probably do it with Sharp or something. I guess because I would want to take Sawyer, just to
Yep. I mean,
show.
honestly, 2 ways we can do this. I can assign you a captain to give them active orders, or I can leave it to you, and if you pull a lieutenant or a captain or ship whatever an escort to make sure you get there, and I'm fine heading off to you and saying this is what we're looking for. Let us know what you can do.
Yeah, I'll figure it out and give me. I mean, the approvals and everything will give me the time. It should take 2 days, and I'll fill a pallet with whatever I need and just toss it on the bison and go down.
Yeah, it should just be a matter of that, and 1 or 2 people who, I mean, I guess if you're in prefab, you don't really need skilled builders, but someone who can toss those things down and produce the planks. And do we have a list rundown of what we would stock that with, or do we need that?
Not made up yet because I wasn't sure, but I can ask Nexus or Kevin for to come up with like a restock for 3. We'll say 3 days just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Always
Yeah.
good to pack.
Yep. Well, and honestly, like, I know we had a very specific way we did 48-hour patrols before the storm, especially with Cap Row. And it kind of ebbed and flowed, and we kind of have a lot of different resupply ways we did it, but I think, we're going to kind of have to pilot this out. So we'll take our best stab at it. They may run out of supplies depending on how much heat they get into. They may run out of supplies after 2 days, in which case they'll, zip a ship back here and be like, we need, 100,000 more wood or whatever, and we can go resupply it. So, and then, that can just inform us that, like, here's what we left them. We just have that list of this, what that resupply was. They could be like, we didn't touch half of the planks you left us. Okay, great. Or, we used the 10% of the wood. Well, now there's plenty more there. We can stock half as much next time.
Yeah, and we can just leave the rest
Yep.
there. And
How would we handle keys and access? Because to my knowledge, pin coding a door doesn't work.
just lock it to Navy and leave it.
So if we build that there, will it stay there safe, or will it eventually fall apart?
Stay. It should be fine.
Okay. I'm not as well versed in those kind of things.
It doesn't decay.
I'm sorry, what was that part?
I think if anyone allied runs near it, it would not decay. So until the allied paperwork, we might have to like check in on it. But I feel like we would be down there in enough. It's like 3 weeks.
Okay, yeah, right. So as long as we're there every so often.
Yeah, and I don't think the prefabs decay either.
Yeah. Yeah, because we wouldn't. I mean, what I don't want to have to do is like, if we could pin code doors, fantastic. We just keep a list of those pin codes, but I don't want to have to keep track of those keys and then make sure that every officer has a key.
Because I'll put all the like I could put a bunch of keys in a box and you pin code the box.
Mm-hmm.
You just put the keys back when you're done.
Yeah, I could. I think it would make more sense to just have it locked to Navy member, so that
Yeah,
just any Navy member can
there's
open the
not going to be
door.
anything in there that they will have to keep away from the common sailor. So
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, yeah, if there was an area like, oh, this room is for officers, if we did something like that, sure, we can have keys for that in a box somewhere, and we can, just toss one to everyone and make sure there's a clipper nearby. But I would, I'd even argue like, yeah, we'll all go in a room. We don't need to be locked away from the enlisted.
yeah,
All right, yeah, I will let you know. It'll probably be tomorrow night when I hear for sure, but I'll either let you know or I'll have the Plug get in touch with you directly.
yeah, it's fine. D'Artagnan knows where I live.
Perfect. Okay.
I have the Nexus and Silver Meadows are turning in weekly training reports to me. I told them to copy you and Puffins in on
Okay.
that.
Oh, which reminds me, do you have a list of everyone that you would consider to be on logistics billet?
I have a warehouse roster. I need to get the full logistics. Where did I put this? I thought I had it on me. I don't. We keep the roster updated inside the warehouse on the one notice board.
Oh,
That's
okay.
like
I can pull a copy.
where it keeps it. Yeah.
I'm
That's
collecting all of the
I have to
captains'
figure
houses.
out I have to figure out where I conflict with the captain's houses.
Yeah, so and that's where I think, as much as I don't want to, it might be another conversation for the next high command meeting, which sounds like might be on Thursday, depending on the time. But what I would love to see do is like that really only applies to NCOs.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is that because as an NCO you're in a job.
Yes, and then I think,
Midshipman is you have a job, but it's like
yep,
you're kind of around. But
yeah, it's for
those are like
leadership, right? Like,
dedicated to.
yeah, and I don't want it to be like the first person to promote a midshipmate get them on their billet, but the idea would be, you're in a like, the two changes we'd make is like the billet, you don't billet sailors or midshipmates,
Mhm.
unless you are putting them in a billet spot that's for a higher rank and you're awaiting a time and rank requirement or something like that.
Mhm.
But so I guess three changes, right? We don't do it for the enlisted. They're just generally not on a billet outside of externalities. If
Yeah.
you are on a billet, it's important that, like, if you have a midshipmate filling in as quartermaster, as a bad example, that they are aware that you have them listed in a billeted spot and that they are on your billet. And then all of those sailor midshipmate spots in the crew houses uh, become unbilleted. We don't have to deal with honorary members or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
If I would be a bad example, but if Fang wanted to be part of sharpshooters, for example, he doesn't have to be an honorary member. He takes up one of those like 11 or whatever it is current
Yeah.
sailor
General crew.
spots. Yep, and he can do that knowing that like he's in the house and he's on that crew, but that is not a billeted position.
He's not a master of the house. That's he has
Yep.
nothing. His
Yep.
nothing to do
Yep.
with
He's
the house.
Master Fang. He's in a sailor spot, non-billeted. Same way where we have clerks and senior clerks. All of my clerks are non-billeted. Even if they're not anywhere else, they're not on our billet somewhere. If I want to
Yeah.
promote one up, I got to make sure, what house are they in? Are they in a different department? Make sure
Yeah.
that I'm not going to promote one of your midshipmates that you had an eye on for armorer
Yeah.
or something like that.
Technically promoted Brimstone, even though apparently he's Kinsley's, and that's why I was like, we're gonna have to redo that.
But that's where, like, what I don't want to have is like like I want Brimstone, but he's in the house. Like, ooh, the first person to make him a master's mate gets him. It would be like, yeah, there still needs to be that conversation, but it would
Yeah.
come down to like, if you want him for a master's mate.
I had the same conversation I had with Hackett.
Yes, yep. The modified
master-
Hackett rule would be like, you would have
What
to
do you
have,
want?
you'd have that conversation with Brimstone and be like, I'd like to make you. I'm considering putting you in for promotion. Understand that this would mean you're on my billet. You can still be in Kinsley's house, but if you were looking at being his, the master of his house or one of his NCOs, you wouldn't be eligible for that if you take this role.
Yeah.
So that's the way that I
Once
would
they
love
get
to do
into
it.
an officer type spot that they have to pick. Which
Yeah. Yep.
which is how it should be.
Yes, I think it's two or three very minor changes that I think would simplify that greatly.
And it'll smooth things up. And
Yeah, but obviously, Vice Admiral, we all realize like we don't have a list of who is actually where, so it's a lot of
Yeah.
running around. And
I knew mine was because I keep a running list, but I knew I hadn't turned it in anywhere. But that's because I was still figuring it out.
we have ours. We have like 3 people on our billet system, and the captains all should and do, I believe, do have them posted. So I'm gonna run around and gather all of that and put all the captains into one. I'll grab yours from the warehouse, and I just need to connect with Is the
Yeah,
warehouse?
it's if you go in the front gate,
Yeah, I think
it's
I
like
know
in
where
the
it is.
middle of everything, and hang a right. There's notice boards. One of
Hmm.
the wall notices on that board is the roster,
Is that just
and
the
we.
warehouse? Does that include like the breeding program or anything?
No, it's just the warehouse.
Okay.
I have to get the rest of them.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take some time and run around the next day or two and get those.
Yeah.
Because I'll have to like connect with trade and everything and figure out what that looks like. Anyone
Yeah.
who any
I know the
secretary's gonna
kitchen,
claim. Yeah.
they should have, each of my spots should have a running
Okay.
list of
Yep.
who's. I usually tell them to keep a list,
Yep.
but I don't know where they keep it.
Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll just need to figure out a system for I can put them all in a book somewhere and add it off to the Admiralty, and then it just becomes you want to add someone to your billet, you just need to. If it's not a promotion, if it's like, oh yeah, I have a midshipman, and for whatever reason I'm going to put them in a billet spot, you just need to let the Admiralty know that you've added someone to your like you've updated your billet.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
all right, yeah, we'll see how
Sounds
that
good to
goes.
me.
But I'll let you know. I'll let you
Yeah.
know what the Blue says, or I'll have them work directly with you. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I think that's the general plan rather than relying on these resupply points built up by others
Yeah.
to just do when we decide we need one. If there's a hot grid, right? If we get into another Black Rose situation like that, we might just
Yeah.
proactively like that's that we were gonna do that with
We'll set
Ivar
the
and
outpost.
Shatterstone. Yep. Yeah, that was the plan with Shatterstone before the Admiral was like, well, let's just go burn it down. We are gonna go set one up out at Ambition. I mean, I know it's right there, but have one in grid so we can zip in without having to leave the grid.
Which we might have to do again if you
Hmm.
saw my report.
Yep, I did see that.
I didn't even have a. I was very tempted to walk in there and
Yes.
see what I could see, but we saw 3 black sail brigs, and I was like, nah, I got enough.
Yes. Several of our privateers have come under mortar fire for just loitering outside the wall.
Yep.
So,
It'll be
yeah,
fine.
so I'd imagine as we identify points that are strategic to us, or for these 48s, we'll just build up a network of those resupply points, and then we'll just check in on them frequently.
Ah,
Ah, good day, Secretary.
Davenport.
I have to step away for a bit. I'll be
Perfect.
here.
Thank you, Darren.
Secretary Drone,
Yep.
if I could just bug you for one moment.
We've got the next trade fair location sorted.
Hi. Do you know the date for it yet?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So it's going to be at
So nice.
Uh,
Hotel Royale.
Okay.
We
Like,
just
Carrie-
went there. They'll be here tomorrow to pound out the details.
Yeah.
But I noticed
got two-
that you may have something going on this weekend.
yes, the plan was for
Um,
the first 48.
Right. So
Everybody.
is it a good idea to set up a trade fair for this weekend or not?
I would argue no. I think it's something we could talk through. But
Like-
given I know we try and keep the manpower requirement from the Navy to the trade fair lower, so we don't swamp the grid and everything, and we don't want 50 sailors there at all times. Um, it's not impossible. I think there's a path there if you want to do one this weekend as well. I think we can do it. I think it just there's people who might want to do both. On top of it, where is what did you say it was called? Hotel Royale.
Hotel Royale, believe D6,
Oh.
King's Rest.
The current plan for our 48 is in C6 at Unlisted.
Oh,
Which
that
is
kinda
right next door.
works out.
So honestly,
Right next door.
that might not be a bad idea to just do
Oh,
them at
that's
the same time.
perfect.
Our plan was to go down there
Yes.
Friday night, come back Sunday. We would make the distinction
Oh.
that it's going to be very similar to the way we did 48s before the storm. We're going to control it a bit more. We're going to make sure that they have captains and lieutenants that kind of span time zones, so they're not all awake at once. And we're going to put a limit on the number of sailors, the number of people overall that can go down there. As those became
And
popular before, we had like one where we had 60 sailors on board, and we took a brigantine down for one. Or sorry, we took a galleon down for one, which we're not going to dedicate half the Navy to a 48-hour patrol. This should be like a 35 man operation at most.
Right, and I think that would be perfect because that's before the storm. It was all wishy-washy with how we did trade staff.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're closing down the trade port here, and we're allocating the funds from Friday, Saturday, Sunday to the trade fair, Um, I'm also I also made it not a requirement but a request that all the staff go, and it worked out perfect
Oh,
because I
good.
ended up having most of my trade staff go with me, and then Lieutenant Hendricks brought down a sloop with a small crew to equal no more than 20 sailors total
I I was I
between the
was
two of us.
I've been meaning to ask. I guess twofold. How did the trade fair go? And it sounds like it did go rather well from at least that
Oh, it
standpoint.
was wonderful. Port Ludigen, they were really great. There's a lot of stories. I'm tired in my head, so
Hi.
I can't go through them all. But um, what was really impressive is that they expressed that they were going to keep the trade fair going for another day, despite we weren't.
Oh, that's good. That's what we
So
want, right?
that's very impressive. Yes, I wanted them to network. They were kind of addicted to it, as it were. So
Good.
it was very nice, very good.
I know we I know we hadn't discussed it. I believe you'd paid or set up security through some of the privateers, but we did task two ships, one on Friday, one on Saturday, to head out there. Um,
Mhm.
from your standpoint, how did that work? Having additional Navy ships in the water.
It worked out pretty well because I don't know how the pirate situation. I know 10 minutes after we got there for a few hours there we had
Hmm.
pirates, but it didn't really affect the trade fair at all. And having the other sailors come in to be able to tour the trade fair was kind of nice as well. See the fellow sailors. If crew needed to be changed, it could be
Mm-hmm.
changed out, so on and so forth. So it
Yeah,
worked out pretty
I
well.
I actually think this will work well. Because would you go down there Thursday? Or would you go down there Friday?
I prefer to go down there Thursday night, and the reason why is is because we need to set up the what they call the crate tables,
Mm-hmm.
because not a lot of port towns have them prior, and they take several hours to set up,
Ooh,
as it were, before you can use them.
those are like those like
Um,
the stands that we have down at trade, the pop-up ones, if you will.
Uh, no, the ones what I'm talking about behind the trade stall down at the trade port.
Mm-hmm.
If you look behind, there's a big kind of like a workshop
Oh,
area where you
yes,
can crush all your belongings into a very small box, as it were.
yes,
Yeah, that takes several hours to set up
gotcha.
properly. So so we did that, and it worked out perfect. Um, I probably will take two horses and two carts with me this time. I took one and I regretted it because we were splitting supplies between the port and the navy as to what we were buying. They had requested
Oh, my
well
voice is cutting out.
part of the.
Oh, the wind's kind of taking your voice, Secretary.
Sorry.
I think it happens quite a lot if you're holding your muscle for a long time. I think sometimes you have to
Mm-hmm.
just every now and then let it go.
Yes. That and when I talk quietly,
Yeah, if you're
it also
sometimes you're.
cuts
Mhm.
out. Um, but yes, I believe I'll take two horses and carts with me this time. Um, that worked out perfect. Also, something that we did before the storm is we were selling items at these trade fairs.
Ah,
I don't
yes.
think I don't think I want to do
Oh,
that.
I
Um,
I need to move a little bit or I'm gonna fall asleep. I don't know if we just want to
all right,
step over here.
all right. Um, I don't think I want to do that because, honestly, it worked out perfect. Having the Port Ludigen folk, auction their stuff off
Mm-hmm.
and sell their stuff in the store, and it concentrated more on the town than us trying to hawk our items as it.
Yeah,
So I did.
I agree. I think that makes
Right.
perfect sense. If they've got stuff to
Right.
sell, then they should be the ones doing that, not us.
And since we have the bison as the trade vehicle, that oh boy, the little bit that we bought, oh my goodness, the little bit that we bought, we loaded down that ship
Oh wow.
quite heavily. So if we do decide to upgrade the ship, as it were, maybe maybe wait, but
Hmm.
yeah, I'm limited, as it were, as to what to take and what to bring with me and what to bring back. So unless we get a bigger ship, I don't suggest selling things.
Yes, because we have to
Um,
bring a bunch of things down there with us too.
right. Um, So yes, this will work out. I'll write up the proposal after I speak with him tomorrow. We're having a meeting at 6 p.m. by the Eastern Stars. The Hardtack Times representative I've invited in order to come and write an advert
Ooh.
to get that posted as soon as possible in the next Hardtack Times. Um, else? Oh, we actually we provided the funds for the port town to hire their own privateers.
Ah yes.
But we will be suggesting, I believe there's a company,
Is it strong
starts with an
arm?
A. No, it starts with an A.
Um, there's in that area. There's unlisted. There's Raven Rock. Who's the other one? There's like three of them in C6. Um,
Ambition.
oh, yeah, Ambition. 'Cause,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Ambition's here in
Um,
C. Yeah, Ashen Moon. There's a ton of privateers down there.
yes, yes. So, but it worked out perfectly. I know Hendrix was frustrated because he didn't see a heavy privateer presence. But that was because they were mostly in the water around.
Mm. Yeah,
And of
ideally
course,
you
Port
shouldn't see them,
Ludigen,
right? So.
right? And Port Ludigen, they have their own privateer
Hmm.
contingency, so they were well aware of the situations. And I didn't feel threatened. I don't think any of the civilians that came felt threatened. It was quite pleasant. Worked out quite well. There is an animal auction there that turned out quite swimmingly. I probably heard about the rhino.
Yes, I did.
Did you hear the whole story or did you hear the half story?
From what I heard, you told Flemington that you had 200 gold and that was his maximum, and he bid from something like 35 to 199.
Something like that,
Aye.
yes. So the full story, long story, short story, long story. Um, Port Ludigen lost their breeder, Celeste, the day of the trade fair. The auction was her pet project, um, and the rhino and the three cows that we actually purchased for 199 were part of her last brood, as it were. Um, and so they continued on with the auction regardless of her being, in her memory, as it were. And the funds that they were raising were going to go back into the town. So I had a set limit for what I was going to donate, and I was haggling with Flemington, and I shouldn't have told him a
Mm.
maximum. I should have just said, just bet 5 more gold, and something like that.
So yeah, keep giving him the nod as long as he's under.
Right.
Well, I mean,
But
sounds like.
regardless, yeah, regardless, he got the rhino, they got the money. But I ended up donating the cows back to them because it was kind of a sentimental, since they were the last cows that she bred and raised. So they asked if they were going to buy them back, but I just donated them back. But
Well, it
that's
sounds like it all worked out well in the end.
it did. It really did. And a lot of people networked very well, and I think it was a smashing hit. I'm excited for Hotel Royale. We'll see how it works. Um, they're going to need to do a lot more building, as per every trade town that we,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
do a
That's
trade fair at.
that's part of the point, right? It spurs them to build the trade, and then they have a port, and people have been there, and hopefully they come back.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm excited. All right, so I'll submit the full plan hopefully by tomorrow night or Tuesday morning. But yes, it's going to be 6 port, Hotel Royale, King's Rest.
Perfect. Yep, and just go ahead and include in there that we spoke and you're aware that we're planning a 48 for an adjacent grid in that time, and we're coordinating around how those two are
Ah,
interface.
wonderful, wonderful.
I say, I
Love
think
it. I'll
obviously we want to make sure that we're not stemming the flow of traffic, so that we'd chosen that grid for a reason because there's been a lot of threats of sieging in that grid, in
Mhm.
C6. But having the 48 right there, we can patrol kind of those two shimmer borders of D6 there, and keep that lane from the western and the northern side open as much as possible without having to come into the grid. So it's not like we'd tell them you're not allowed to go to the trade fair. We might send a runner over there every so often just to check in and ensure everything's going fine, or do you need
Oh
anything? Do
yeah.
we need anything? Swap crew or anyone wants to join, whatever.
Mm.
But it's not going to be wake up and patrol D6 around the trade fair just because we can. It's they'll have other
Right.
tasks in C6 and probably C5 and D5, but we can patrol those two trade routes in and try and keep the peace outside there so it stays nice and calm inside.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Perfect.
I'm glad I finally got a chance to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been.
Oh, I gave my roster of the Bison crew that went with me to the trade fair to Derby. Um, and I want that list as well as the crew that were with Lieutenant Hendricks. I'd like to input all of them for a trade fair
A commendation.
commendation.
Yes. Um,
Yes.
I need
Um,
to. We need to speak to the Admiralty a little bit about that because I think all of us are supposed to be given the book to be able to make those. And
oh, I
so,
I don't have a
Hmm.
yeah, I have. Darren, do
I
you know
haven't
anything
read.
about the book to make the accommodation medals?
That's an admiral question.
Okay, yeah,
He
I
has to
had
give
figured.
it
Alright.
to us, or
Yes.
I assume Chief can requisition it for us. But
Yep. Because my understanding, the plan was not that operations doesn't want to assist with it, but if you all want to give out accommodations, you don't need to come through operations.
yeah, accommodations
Right.
was all. They just have to get approved by the Admiralty, I think.
Yep.
Which we can all make the medals. It's just the writing on the medal that they have to approve.
All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Well, I've submitted through Dolby, so he may be coming to you
I
regardless. So
say we have a book somewhere of the I would say approved medals, medal of valor, those kinds of things, and like the text of what they're for. Then I believe it would just be if you want to recommend them, the full actual process would be like there should be a book form for it. It's here's the individuals, here's the medal, here's justification. The Admiralty signs off on it, and then you would be able to just produce the medals and then at parade hand them out.
Yeah, we would
wonderful,
make the
wonderful.
medals and we would write for the siege of Shatterstone, whatever.
Yep, you can
Right.
engrave names and I think a little bit of thing on there. I've never done
Oh,
it before. I know
wonderful.
Puffins
I think we
has,
can
but
copy them in a printing press too. I think.
I think
Oh,
potentially yeah, because I
maybe.
don't think you actually put their name on them. Do you?
Mm-mm.
I guess you could, but I think the idea is
Yeah.
yeah.
Give me one moment. I'll be right back. I've got to show you both something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Puffins. I've been trying to get Puffins to. He's got the template for what those promotions or what those commendations look like, and I've been
Yeah.
poking him like, can you put those in a book for me? Like, because that's the one thing wasn't in our archive when I memorized it before the storm.
Mm. I don't wish Chief was awake. I wanted to bless the Vanguard.
The Vanguard, is that
That's the Marine ship. Yeah.
Marine ship? Yep.
She's down in the shipyard, sitting, waiting for us.
say Nexus and I had talked through, or I guess Nexus had walked me through the general plan for like Marine outfits. I liked the idea of, not that the Marines can't be outfitted when they're walking around, but having a supply point there so that you don't have to like, oh, go to the warehouse and like, do you have whatever? It's just there is Marine equipment in a specific spot next to that ship.
I haven't showed you the
Yeah.
armory yet, have I?
The Marines armory?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah,
I told
feel free,
Nexus
it's
I wanted to look through all that
Ah.
once the ship was dropped and everything.
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
gifted a rifle, but I think one of my trade staff may have held on to it to look at it. But Port Luditon actually gifted me a trade fair rifle.
Oh,
Yes, it was quite nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
all right. All right. Why
If
do
it
you need
needs
to
any-
go ahead, Darren?
Like I say, if it needs any upgrades, let me know. I can tighten the
Alright.
springs and oil the barrel and whatnot.
Oh, which reminds me,
Ah.
do we plan on having officer equipment, or is it gonna be what we can get out of the crates?
The officer's armory will be stocked as best we can. The blueprints right now are just,
Yeah, because
I
we're
did
not
buy
doing,
some hammer blueprints. I was told you all needed them.
yeah.
They
Hammers will.
didn't have. There wasn't a lot, but I did buy some.
Have you seen any standard yet at trade?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I'll keep my eye open.
Okay.
Oh, I had told Secretary Davenport earlier. I think not selling things at the trade fair worked out very well, especially with the limited room we have on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't take a lot down and we can't really bring a lot back, so I don't think we'll be doing that for the trade fairs for a while. But there is a kiosk down at trade fair for selling Navy equipment.
Hmm. I usually don't give our stuff out.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but
Yeah, because
I know
it's all branded. If you
Mhm.
start to notice, so
Yes.
if a civilian or literally anyone is caught with it, you can find them. Technically, rations are also illegal if they're not in our possession too. I've heard a few civilian stalls are selling rations.
Oh,
Those are technically contraband.
gear is all branded. Yeah, it's been on my list to add Navy rations to the list of contraband.
Oh, Blackwater is aware. I did buy 2 horses at the trade fair, Peanut Butter and Grey Ghost.
Does Fang or Amaris know about it?
I sent word, but I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, 2
Grey
horses is
Ghost.
fine. Are they for you or are they for?
No, they're for trade. Well, I might keep Grey Ghost. He's a Shire. He's neutered though. He was older horse, so I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
riding around. But Peanut Butter is a really good horse, really good Shire, really good hauler. So
Neutered or?
no, breedable.
Okay, let Fang know. Then we might be able to breed it into our line and
All
you know
right.
improve our own horses with that.
All right.
I know we had plenty of Shires. It was Lusitanos that
Mhm.
Amaris. Like the reason why there's a delay on horses is because Amaris was short on Lusitanos.
Right. I did buy a Lusitano because he asked me to look out for a black maned, purple skinned horse.
Yep, they're trying to get that for the Admiral.
I know. I bought the closest I could find. Which was a black maned, almost like it was I think it was black skinned. I don't think it was purple skinned.
I do need to step in my head for a little bit here, so
Yeah. So I gotta.
Well, I'm
Thank you
going to
both.
bid you both gentlemen.
You say you're up late.
yes,
I am. I need to go to bed.
go to bed.
Mhm.
All right.
Go to bed.
I'll see you all later.
Have a good night.
It was good talking to you finally.
Hi, you too. They're planning a trade fair that they think will be this weekend down in D6, so that actually works very well for the Plan 48.
Yeah.
Normally we don't like to overlap them, but that actually might work very well because we'd have ships going down there anyway. So
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna go take care of this thing, and then I'll be around.
And sit in the recreation center and
Aye.
stare at a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. Right, chat. I need to take care of a few things upstairs. I think the ice cream has finally arrived, so I will be. Davenport will be back here smoking. I'm still playing with this. I don't know if this is working. I'm trying to see if it works to disable pre-roll. So I'm gonna run a 3-minute ad. I'll be gone for at least that long. You're not gonna miss anything. I'm gonna mute everything anyway. So if you want to jump, go ahead and jump. If you are sticking around, let me know if you see ads over the next 3 minutes or not. I have no way of telling if it's working or not. I'm gonna hit the button here in a second. I'm gonna run upstairs, take care of a few things. I'll be back in probably 5 minutes. Get some water, pee, that whole 9 yards. So I will be right back. Ah, sorry that took longer, and apparently I'm dying of dehydration. But we're back. Get some water. Apparently, alcohol does not hydrate you. Let's fill this back up. Nope. Inventory. Water jug. There we go. Alright, back in action. Let's check the box. Huh. Where do we get everything? Let's look at that voyage log from Ramsey. Falcon. We can put that one right there. Who putting Philosopher on the roof of Kinsley's house? Here is, of course, the gladiator. No. 60 million on Nope Island. On that land very odd. Captain Flying with the land galleon. So, the Ashen Wake sank? What? Hold on. All right. Yep, the Ashen Wake sink. That's going to be an interesting conversation. Fun. Ooh, Silver Meadows. Ooh. Well, I'm glad we recovered them. This was like an hour and a half ago. That can also go to the blue. That's not it. No. This is not it. So I labeled the 6th. All right, hold on.
Good evening again, Secretary.
Good evening.
I have a quick question right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope it doesn't seem rude of me of asking this. Why isn't Penny wanted still?
considering what just happened to Lieutenant Hex in the Ashen Wake.
What just happened to the Ashen Wake? I read a report that it was sunk, apparently.
According to Lieutenant Sawyer, it was Kai aboard that ship.
Who was Sawyer helming that ship?
I,
Is Sawyer here?
I,
Where is he?
down. I'm at medical right now.
All right, let's go to medical.
I'll meet you down there, sir.
All right. Well, that might solve that problem, chat.
Understood.
Durin?
I'm sure the hospital has privy.
You in your head, Durin?
Get you back out there doing patrols as soon as possible.
Secretary.
Lieutenant?
Ow! That hurt.
At ease.
Thank you.
What happened?
Do you want to talk privately? We can go.
Yes.
I'm cleared for light duty. So. Where do you want to go, sir?
Right over here, by this tree.
Sure.
First of all, how are you?
I got burned on a few parts of my body and shot like 9 times as we were running away after the ship sank. They
This
tried
was
to snatch a few of us up.
this was the Ashen Wake.
Alright, so it was the Ashen Wake. Yeah, we were coming back from our C6 patrol. You know, C6, D6, all that stuff. We had just finished fighting some Ship of the Damned, including our really nasty galleon. And I was having Mr. Kalani do the helming so they could get some practice. So we were fighting it and took a lot of damage. Actually, our top deck was pretty heavily damaged. We lost a couple cannons. Then we came across a PIP, a piracy in progress. We thought in the distance 2 ships standing together. So we sailed close. Noticed it was a black-sailed vessel pirating someone. We hailed the white-sailed vessel as the black-sailed vessel sailed away. Confirmed that they were stealing from them and doing piracy. And so we red flared. Because you gotta protect the civilians, right? They returned red flare.
Hey guys.
We briefly engaged, but we were already pretty down on resources. So we ducked into the Tainted Flock's port. Their resupply was great. It was a little dipped in there. We couldn't find it at first, but we found it. Got a excellent resupply. All rep and rearing, sailed right back out. Could meet them because they were, of course, just hanging out outside the port. And I was going to meet them to drive them off so that they stopped doing their pirate things. Unfortunately, the Ashen Wake, I mean, I'm huffing copium a little bit here. They kept getting behind us and using their long 9s. And their captain was pretty good at keeping it. I had to, I pulled myself out of the wind and try to get a broadside off, and yeah, they just kept wearing down our sails. So I felt like the way the fight was going, I should keep close to the native flock, so I did. At one point, they managed to strip one of our planks, and starting to gain on us on speed. Ducked around some rocks. They rammed us into the rocks. We kind of mounted the rock and flipped around a little bit. It was a bit of a wild experience. At that point, she was pretty heavily damaged. We stripped their side, but we were definitely more damaged than them, our sails especially. I tried to limp her back to the Tainted Flock and sank just outside of mortar range.
What's the status of your crew?
Everyone is accounted for.
Thank God.
Mr. Wakeland, Midshipman Wakeland, did fall in battle and washed ashore back at Proudshire. But everyone else was accounted for during the battle. I ordered everyone to retreat to the privateers. We fought them from the walls for a bit, like shooting at them. But they, of course, fled from the mortar fire, and they could not loot the Ashen Wake because the Ashen Wake was right at their mortar coverage. So.
So all the crew are all alive. Do you know, are any of them in critical?
None of them are critical. Some of them I think, the most badly wounded, and midshipmate Kalani was also pretty badly injured.
Okay. Do you know who attacked you, or who the pirate ship was?
It was Kai. It was
Okay.
the pariah. It was Kai. He boarded us with a bunch of his people, but we're Marines. Me, not really, but we had a lot of Marines aboard, so we fucked them hard when they boarded us, and Kai limped away barely. He was like literally a swing from death, I'm pretty sure.
All right, this is very important, Lieutenant Sawyer. Did you recognize anyone else that boarded your ship?
I don't know anyone else from Styx. I'm so sorry. I don't have very good knowledge.
I have one name that I'll tell you in a minute.
All right.
There was a surly fellow, like a bit of a bulky guy, shorter, not the tall one that we talked to. You know who I'm talking about. He was the one that I was there.
Did you see him at all?
I cannot say that I saw him, no.
Okay.
I was piloting the entire time, so when they boarded, it was just as we were sinking. The ship was lost, so I got off the helm and went to fight them. And I went right for Kai, because I was angry. I'm pissed at that guy. So the cadet and midshipmate Man were already cutting him down, and I got a couple swings in with some other fellow. But at one point, they fired a fire shot into the hull, and the back of the hull was on fire, and I kept running through it and burning myself all over.
You said that
really bad.
it was you said it was a brigantine named the Pariah.
The Pariah, aye.
Do you have any details of it, the color or the sails, or?
Yes, one black Bermuda, that's the full black one. One white, or maybe it was, I don't know. It was very molassesy, if you know what I mean.
Aye, so it could have
things might not have appeared.
Covered in bugs. Yep.
Yep, could not have appeared. It was Bermuda as well. It was a two Bermuda vessel.
Any designs on the sails?
5 top deck gunnons. That's the thing, is I couldn't see the designs. It was all white on the one sail. I'm pretty sure there was designs, we just couldn't see them.
Okay.
There was a lot of molasses. It was in B3. It was extremely sluggish the entire time. Again, I'm huffing coping them a little bit.
Yep. I mean, obviously,
I could blame
take it easy.
the sluggishness, but yeah, no, I lost the ship.
All black, you said. 5 top deck cannons.
5 top deck cannons, a full complement, of course, down below. 2 long 9s, and they used them to great effect. And we had very little chain shot. I had my top decks firing chain shot, but I don't know. I just don't think they were sufficiently enough of them. There wasn't 5 top deck cannons shooting them. So. They just wear down our sails. We hit their sails a lot, but obviously they were able to keep theirs up, and we weren't. So.
Do you have an estimate of approximately how many pirates there were?
I would estimate at least 8 to 9, at least. There was enough to man all the cannons on the deck, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, no, there would have been more than that. 12, 13.
I think all the below deck cannons were manned by pirates as well.
All cannons were manned. Oh, you're right. I don't know if they were mutes. That's true.
Okay.
Could have been.
So you think
yes,
you
should
think
definitely talk to Wickens. He was captured briefly.
Hi.
Especially.
Talk to him.
Okay.
I did. I have my report.
Did you have your report finished?
I can copy it into a book. It's in my.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, all of this was in the ship. You can.
I think I read this. It was yes. I did read this report.
Yeah, I ordered him to be completely neutral about it, because obviously it's everyone's responsibility that this stuff does not get leaked.
Yes. We will address that separately, but I'm not that worried about it. That I'm more worried about, but okay. Finish off your report. You said it was Wickens that was captured?
Wickens was briefly captured, interrogated, and then released.
Okay.
Yeah. Fell aboard early on in the fight.
Who was it you said washed ashore?
Midshipmate Kalani,
Kalani.
the
Mikhail.
Mr. Kalani. Yeah,
Aye.
Mikhail Kalani.
Okay. Yep.
Should
If
still
you
be in
if you could put pen and paper on that report, if I'm not around here,
copy.
just put it into ops and put one into NID as well.
I'll probably put one in the Admiral suit as well. I'm sure they'll want
Yes.
to know
Yep.
what happened to one of their ships.
Okay.
And then I got to go make sure I don't get murdered by Silver Meadows. Losing his ship.
Well, the important thing was get all the crew. The ship can be replaced.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't really
I'm
give a
sure-
shit about the ship.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Lieutenant. Take it easy.
I'm glad we were able to. That was. Yeah.
Mhm.
The Tainted
Sure.
Flock were really good help today.
The
Fantastic.
Falcon and the Crosswind are out. Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
out.
everyone left as soon as they're not going to catch them. They left. We
Send her down there to try and catch him.
And just to do a sweep.
Yeah,
Really. I
yeah.
told Murphy not to stay long.
How did you all get back?
The Tainted Flock were right there. We
Did
were
they
right
just
under the
did they just bring
mortar
you
fire.
back?
So we swam ashore. Like, of course, they were all yelling, "Surrender! Come to us!" Yeah.
Yeah. Why would
yeah,
you
like,
do that?
We're gonna
Right.
do that. We're right beside a privateer port.
Mm.
I could step 5 inches and get mortar covered. So we did, and they absolutely took a few mortars and a cannon, a harbor cannon or two.
So Tainted Flock brought you back.
They did,
Well, note
except
that.
for, of course, Midshipmate Kalani.
Connie. Yep. We'll
Yeah, I
note
told him.
that
I
too,
ordered him to go talk to the PLU to report
Yep.
their side of the story.
Yeah, we'll make sure that they get taken care of for that as well.
Yeah, I did let them have all of our planks and gun ports and stuff like that.
Yep.
They,
Yep.
but we
Durin,
took our cannon.
Durin, you said you had one name.
I have to double check it with Amaris, but she thought she recognized the voice.
Yeah,
It was
I'm sorry, I
Wei-
don't. There
it
was a woman I
Wayland.
know.
You said there was a woman.
There was a woman. I don't know who it
You don't know
was.
who it
'cause
was.
Just
Okay.
yelled.
Yeah.
They just yelled. Someone of the crew might know.
Um,
I know Amaris, excuse me, Master's Mate Amaris is pretty well versed with that crew. So you might want to.
Mars.
Hi, Amaris. She's still inside. Do we know?
She's at the breeding barn.
Okay, I can connect with her. Durin, did you say what was your suspicion?
Wayland, something with a W is what she said.
Waylon.
Wayland or what? I forget. She's like, yeah, I recognized him. And it's like she's been around them a few times, so.
All right.
Sure.
I could
Yeah.
not say that anyone that we interrogated when we peed on them the other day was there. I can't.
didn't see
confirm
any of
or
them
deny
there?
of that. No, I can't confirm or deny any of them. Sorry.
So the big thing is you did not recognize anyone from that ship from the ship
Except
that we
for Kai.
stopped earlier, except for obviously you recognize Kai, but to
Yeah.
your knowledge, I guess not your knowledge, you didn't recognize any of the members that we saw the other night on that ship. That's not to say they weren't there, but you couldn't possibly
Of
identify
course.
anyone. Okay.
Mhm.
So maybe that fissure still stands.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that there might be some sort of
I mean,
split or
we've
something.
we've heard several
We know-
different
we-
things, but we believe that they've split into two companies that do not like each other. One,
Yeah.
with
The
Kai's white
split-
sails.
Yeah,
and,
the split was Kai's group trying to go white sailed to start
See how well that worked.
Well,
black sailed.
Well, we'll get a bounty up on that ship, and
yeah.
we're gonna probably up the bounty on Kai.
I mean, the big thing is that we caught
he's
him
nearly
literally
max
pirating.
already, isn't he?
We can always offer more gold. He's already infamous.
The big thing is that they were literally pirating, and I always
Yep.
thought Kai was kind of the anti-pirate, not the pirate, and he's pirating.
He does
will
seem to-
pirate people, but he won't kill civilians without very good
Well,
reason.
Well,
Yeah.
he
So
has
Sure
what
killed
the
Navy men.
reason might be is he can make that up for himself.
he has contributed to the death of sailors in the past. So
Yes.
Several of mine. So
Mhm. Yep.
What was that?
I do believe we have him up for a myriad of crimes, including murder.
And the fact he boarded, and he knew that Amaris was aboard because Wickens had told him before he jumped aboard.
Well, he obviously
He
knew
was
you were
interrogated
Navy,
briefly.
so
Yep.
it's not like he has any excuse, even if he didn't know. Like, it's obviously a Navy ship.
No, I've lost all empathy for him now. I mean, like, obviously, it does sting
No,
that
I
I lost a
told
ship,
I
mind
told
you, but-
him I had a private conversation with him at Ironhold, and I said if the treaty holds up, that if he betrays the treaty, then every single member of Sticks and Bones is liable to be killed if caught.
Well, this is during we might need to talk about this. I had all the signatories of that treaty listed under bounties, including Penny and it's not Paige. Who's the other one? I forget the other two that signed that, and apparently the vice admiral pulled those down.
Yeah, there's a reason for that I was told, but
apparently I was never
they're
told
trying
that.
to stay white sail apparently. But if they're caught on one of their ships, that's it. It goes right back up.
Okay, I'm good with that. I think that leaves us with their 3 captains. Okay. We should find Mikhail and yes, yeah, go take care of that. Obviously, take it easy. If you can get us that tonight, but yep. Give a copy to NID, copy to Ops, and you might as well just drop a copy into the VA's box.
All
right. I do want to speak to Mikhail and Amaris.
Okay.
Colonies are over here, by the way, if you want to talk to them.
Actually, I want to connect with Dr. Morgan first.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll just tell them not to leave.
All right.
Don't do any heavy lifting.
I won't.
Dr. Morgan, when you have a minute.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you? You're not injured, are you?
I'm not injured, no. From my report, everyone's accounted for. No one is too seriously wounded.
According to, I would say out of the patients that I seen this evening, let's see, Bingleton was good. Ulrich, he just had some splinters and stuff. A pulled muscle in his leg. He says he'll be fine from that. What was her name? Kalani, but it's Rose. Rose Kalani. Yep. Yeah, she swallowed quite a bit of water and it was having some problem breathing, and I removed quite a bit of splinters from her. So she's the only one that I put on light duty. Dr. Babington did see some patient, and I think he put one on light duty that I gave a fitness report for.
I think Lieutenant Sawyer said he was on light duty. I think he had some burns.
Yeah,
that sounded
yeah, I didn't get to see Lieutenant Sawyer.
Yeah, I just spoke with him. But to your understanding, no one is still in surgery or otherwise critical?
Nope, nobody's in surgery.
Well, thank God for that.
And it was Mako that's also on light duty.
Yeah, Mikhail Kalani.
Mikhail.
I think it's Mikhail. Okay, he's on
It's
light
such
duty
an
as well.
Interesting first name.
Yeah, I can't quite place it. I don't know where it comes from. Okay, well, thank you for all the work that you've done tonight. It's kind of came out of nowhere. They always do.
Well, that's how it happens, and that's why we like to keep somebody here on staff, and I'm always glad when I have another doctor that's still here, too. Because I would have been swamped.
Yes. I do believe we still do have one sailor on the missing roster from yesterday, and Ensign Browning.
We still actually have 3 missing
I suppose
sailors.
the cadets as well from the Singing of the Valor, correct? Is that this bottom one?
Yeah. It's the top one the missing. So Browning is
Hunter,
still missing, and those 3 cadets, I haven't heard any more on.
I'm pretty sure those cadets are dead.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we'll see if
so
they.
I get confirmation they stay on my list.
Yes,
that's fine. Browning, if he doesn't turn up, we actually talked to Davenport about this. If he doesn't turn up by like tomorrow at noon-ish Eastern, we're gonna up the urgency and looking for him.
Mm-hmm. He routinely is not on duty on the weekends, so it's entirely possible that he is unaware of his current situation.
I see.
So, not that we're not worried about it, but we sent patrols out to look for him, and he was nowhere to be found. If he'd been captured, we would have assumed that he would have been ransomed by now.
Right.
So, if he doesn't report in the morning or otherwise make his way to us, we will continue patrols.
Okay, well, I know I'll be here until around 6 a.m. Because I usually try to do 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I get really tired, and then I just, I have to get some rest then.
Of course.
But, yeah, everything went well tonight. We got him in here, checked him out, and got him back out there.
Good to know. We can always replace the ship. We can't replace the crew.
No, that's true. Very true. And, you know, I remember somebody telling me what ship it was that went down, but I don't remember the
The
name.
Ashen Wake.
Ashen Wake.
It's Captain
Oh, that was
Silvermeadow's
a good
ship.
ship.
It was a
That
good
was a
ship.
good
Yeah,
ship.
good ship.
He's the one captain that probably won't be that upset.
Well, I
Like-
would like to believe that none of our captains will be that upset.
Yeah, stuff
'cause
happened.
The crew was
Oh yeah.
the crew was returned. It's a ship. We can rebuild it.
Right. Well, half the hospital blew up, and the
And
only
yeah,
thing I wanted was
honestly,
chocolate bunnies.
I walked in and didn't even know what happened.
They got
heard
right
about
on
that.
it.
Yes, we can replace the crew. It's just frowned
Yep,
upon.
I had done
That's
an
not the point.
18-hour shift, had done like an hour nap, and then was on another 12. So I laid down for 3, and I got back up, and it was different, but it was back in order somewhat. Except for some books. When it seemed the bookcases dropped,
Yep.
the books went
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah, that happens.
So
Which makes me think of something from the siege. By the way, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
yeah. So,
Um,
but I got my chocolate bunnies. I know who did it. It was an accident. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are the colonies still outside, Darren?
Oh yeah, I told him to
Okay.
hang around.
All right. We'll go speak to them next. But thank you, Doctor.
yep.
unless
And I'll
there's
keep
anything
an
you need.
eye out for Browning to come in.
Yep.
Okay.
He may just, hopefully he doesn't just wash up in his bunk and he actually comes down here. But I suspect he may wake up very confused.
Oh, I
Yeah,
bet
he
he will.
may need to come stop by the warehouse for some new clothes.
So obviously we've done what we can here. If he we can let the doctor out.
Oops. I'm sorry, Bevington.
It's all right.
Yeah, hopefully he just shows up here and goes to sleep in a bed or reports in, or somebody sees him stumbling around and tells him that he's been missing for 2 days.
Yeah, he might have took a bump on the head and just doesn't remember things
Yep.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
I have
because that when that would have happened would have been like 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern, which would have been the tail end of his duty
Yes.
shift.
Yep.
Right.
That's why I said tomorrow morning's the cutoff. I think we'll be okay with.
Yeah, I have a feeling he might have fallen asleep on the ship and just slipped off the back.
Mhm.
My
Could be.
my larger concern, Darren, is
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we talked about it already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go talk to the colonies.
Yep.
All right,
All right,
sirs.
thank you, Doctor.
Always good seeing you.
You as well.
Yep. Thank you, Doctor. I like the sailor pile.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Are they just? What happened there?
I'm pretty sure these are all LOA sailors.
Oh.
I-
Oh. Yeah, because there's
It's just they're in.
I think that's Stanton. Oh,
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
they're probably sleeping when
So-
the hospital got destroyed.
Oh, maybe. To like put a box or something for them.
How you feeling, Kalani?
Just some slashes to the back, sir. I've had worse.
I hear you're on light duty.
Yep, 24 hours light duty, sir.
Aye. I know we already spoke to Sawyer and a few others. Wanted to see if there's anything else you can recall about the sinking of the Ashen Wake.
The Ashen Wake was not ready for that engagement, sir. We had just taken on some very big gun Spanish and were heading home because we were running out of time. We had to go. We pulled up on the vessels. They had just pirated somebody and they ran from us. And they were getting away at speed. We red flared them and initiated attack, and we were immediately outgunned. We dipped into the privateer port, restocked as fast as we could with what they had, and went back out. They were waiting for us as soon as we went back out. Lieutenant Sawyer kept experiencing headaches during the whole incursion because it was too close to the island. Our auxiliary bosun on the top deck went overboard, and our sails were depleted, and that's all I can remember.
I think Lieutenant said that you were helming for at least the onset of that engagement. Were you helming for the entire engagement?
I was not helming for the engagement, sir. I was on the lieutenant's podium controlling the sails.
Got you.
He was at the helm.
Were you still aboard the ship when it was boarded?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I blacked out and woke up in the current on the way here.
Aye. Do you recall who gave the order to fire the red flare?
Lieutenant Sawyer.
Okay.
And I verified with him 3 times before firing the flare.
I'm sorry, what was that? You verified
I
with him?
verified. Yes. I
Okay.
said, are you sure? Are you sure? Because I knew the state the Ashen Wake was in. It wasn't ready for that engagement, sir.
Alright, we'll handle that. Durin, anything else?
No, that's on my end. You recognize anybody on the ship?
They said Kai was on the ship.
No.
I was tattoos.
Mm.
I didn't know anybody else.
If you had to estimate, do you have a rough estimate of how many pirates are aboard their ship?
I'm going to say at least 15.
You think
It
15?
was fully crewed. It was a fully crewed ship, sir. Top deck cannons and rear deck cannons. You can tell between the intern shooting and actual, paid crew or whatever they call themselves shooting.
I don't think Kai's half the band has 15 members.
Mm-hmm.
That would be quite a lot.
Or not hard to recruit from a free port.
No, I suppose.
Especially with him being known.
Yeah. Apparently that draws people to you.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Alright, Mikhail, anything else you can recall or wish to add?
Front sail was white, back sail was black. The ship's name was Pariah.
That's what Sawyer reported as well. I think do you have if you had to describe it, its color, the ship's color, any toolings, any bowsprit?
It was black with like a darker red trim, and on the back sail, it looked like a cat in a pirate hat. In white paint. Like a fat tabby that likes lasagna.
That's very descriptive. So you think it was
very Kai?
Yes. Your recollection is black with like a dark red trim.
Aye, sir.
Sawyer said he believed it was 2 Bermuda sails. Does that sound right to you?
That is correct, sir.
Okay.
2 Bermuda sails. The helm was almost midship. It was moved pretty far forward.
That's an interesting design, I suppose.
Really sleek. Not a lot of height to it as well.
Interesting.
I'd say the highest it probably went, honestly, was the aft. There was no true aft castle. There was no bow castle at all either.
Sentinel, it's likely...
Was he using like the raised aft, like some of our ships have?
I believe
Sentinel, it's likely that the one sail was a custom skin, and therefore it just didn't render in. So it probably was painted black. They just couldn't see it yet because the grid was foobar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that because the last ship he had when we sank it, we got to him because he was in a choke point at his helm.
Yes. I can imagine. Well, if I was gonna say he was gonna take every precaution to not be caught, but if that was the case, he would never leave land ever again. And that's obviously not what he's doing. But I can imagine he has probably designed his ships to make sure that he can always get off the helm and off the ship, because that is how we caught him before, is he couldn't get off fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not many choke points on the ships.
All right. Anything else you wish to add, Mikhail?
No, sir. That's my full report on that.
Hi. Rose, how are you doing?
I'm on night duty. I was also on the Ashen Wake and almost drowned in the recovery of sensitive items.
I believe I actually have them on me now.
Oh, good.
Yep, Sawyer had them, and I received the report. I was like, wait, the Ashen Wake sank? Okay. Rose, anything else that you can remember? Were you still awake or conscious when the pirates boarded?
I was conscious for the whole entire endeavor. I was on gun deck, so I was not aware of the full fighting. I heard that it was someone named Kai, assumed it was the Kai, based off of the yelling that I could hear. Very much, if I had to describe the fighting style, it was extremely aggressive. They knew where our blind spots were and would consistently stand in those blind spots and just ram us, for lack of a better term. They were able to pinch us into a bit of a corner where I experienced some headaches. As Midshipmate Kalani stated, we were extremely close to the island. We were on our way back. Fortunately, they were unable, or they deemed it too unsafe for them to attempt to commandeer any of our resources due to the fact that one of the privateer members was on their seawall monitoring them. So
That's good.
I'm not aware if we were able to fully pull any planks or anything like that. They did attempt to confuse the crew by when my gun port exploded on me, tried yelling at our bosun to confuse our bosun, in essence to give commands to put the gun port back on. No, don't put the gun port back on. Fortunately, our bosun remained extremely calm through that whole endeavor, knew not to listen to them and listen for our lieutenant or our XO.
That's just dirty.
Yeah, that's just unprofessional. Like, come
Yeah,
on, I expected more from a pirate such as Kai. Actually, I didn't. That's a lie.
I'm not sure if
Yeah,
it was
that's
Kai.
just dirty.
I have not had the honor or pleasure or displeasure, I'm not really sure at this point what to call it, of hearing them speak, but it was someone on the gun port that we were fighting.
Aye. Well, it's Kai's crew.
His crew
so-
is never... he surrounds himself with idiots.
Yeah, I can confirm it was not Kai yelling that. It was voices I've never heard before. I know Kai's voice very well. I've had conversations with him, so it was not Kai yelling that.
There's a yes. Amaris,
Hello.
we'll need a moment of your time here in a second.
Yes, of course. Lieutenant Sawyer told me.
Perfect. All
It
right.
was very much up close and personal fighting.
Aye.
As
That's all I can report.
That's how he excels. Okay, Kalani, anything else to add at this point?
No, sir,
Yes,
but I
yes.
will submit a full written report in the morning.
Yes. Yep. Obviously, we take whatever you have now, but we want to make sure it's factual. So I know Sawyer was going to put his through tonight. He had that already. So don't feel like you need to rush through it tonight. I know it's already late for both of you. So
Yep, I'll work on it in the morning, sis.
perfect. Get some sleep. Hopefully.
Yes, sir.
Were you both? Was it 24 hours light duty? Was it more than that?
24 hours for myself.
I was put on light duty 12 to 24 follow-up with medical to see if
Right.
I got all the salt water out of my lungs.
Obviously, do follow up. Even if they clear you, remain on light duty as long as you need to.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Amaris. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Everything stings a little bit. I had a gun port blow up in my face, so yeah, splinters are not fun.
No.
I couldn't remember the name you mentioned that you might have recognized voice-wise. I thought it was a W, but I couldn't remember.
Yes, I think his name is Wesley, though I'm not entirely too sure.
Wesley.
That name's familiar.
Yeah, there it is. I knew it was a W. I just
So
couldn't remember.
you think you heard Wesley, but you cannot confirm.
It sounded like him. It definitely did sound like him. He's one of the other people that I know that have been sailing along with Kai.
I don't know if that's enough for a bounty.
Probably not, but enough for us to keep an eye out.
Yes. Well, we can note it in the black book. Let Ferguson know.
Mm-hmm.
If we get, 2 or 3 of those, that's enough. But a single one, we can't, obviously, judgment and everything. So you think it was Wesley?
I'm not quite sure who else would know who Wesley is, especially on that ship.
Do you know Wesley's full name? Or did you just know him as Wesley?
I just know him as Wesley, unfortunately.
Alright, I can see if we do know more about him. Did you...
I think...
Go ahead, Darren.
I think we, our friend gave us a bunch of that. But we have to see what still sticks after the storm.
Yes. I do believe so as well. Morris, do you have a rough estimate on how many members were aboard the pirate ship?
Unfortunately, no. I was on the gun deck, so yeah.
Did you hear or see anyone else from Kai's crew that you might recognize, or just Wesley?
Just Wesley, unfortunately. There was another voice that I heard. I don't recognize who it was. I don't think I've ever met them before.
Did you hear any female voices from their crew?
No.
Okay. Do you remember the color of the ship or any other distinguishing marks? Did it have a bowsprit or?
No. I think it did have a bowsprit. It was black. The name of the ship that I was told by the people on the top deck was the Pariah.
Okay. Anything else you can remember or feels important?
The sail. I do remember the sail. It was black and it had like a white skull painting on it. Like a skull and some other decoration or some other details. I can't remember too much.
Was it Michaela that said it was like, wasn't it like a cat?
A cat. He's a large cat that likes lasagna on Mondays. In white paint.
I don't think so.
You think it was a...
It looked more like a skull to me, though you don't get a really good view out of the gunport, so I couldn't see it very clearly.
Did you see the second sail? Did it look white to you?
It was one black sail and the I believe it was 2 gaff sails.
Okay.
The forward sail was all black and the rear sail was the detailed one.
Okay. Yep. I assume that one just the grid seemed like it was probably foobar, so some people couldn't quite tell what the front sail looked like.
Yeah, sometimes your eyes don't necessarily process everything correctly.
You thought the back sail was painted with just a skull?
It was like a weird looking skull with some other details on it. I can't remember too much. It kind of looks spotted. Like I want to say clouds, but I'm not too sure.
Okay. That should help at least. All right. Master's made anything else to add?
No, not really. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get up on top deck. I was too busy trying to bucket, and everybody else had gone up on top deck because boaters were called out, and I couldn't get a good look at anybody who was on and who had boarded the ship.
All right. Anything else, Darren?
Nope.
All right. Thank you, Master's Mate. I think that's all we need.
All right.
Darren, the one that Sawyer said was captured. Wickens?
Wickens.
Wickens?
Apparently he had to drop all his shit and then they kicked him overboard.
Okay. I mean, do we know where he is? I doubt he's gonna
I had the
recognize
docs
any of
checking
them,
on him. I don't know where he went after.
we're just gonna Wickens. I don't know Wickens. Oh, there he is. Henry Wickens. Yeah, let's see if he's still inside.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Abington. Oh, he might be in his head.
Nope.
Do we know where Wickens works? Oh, Dr. Morgan.
Yes.
Henry Wickens. Is it? I don't know what his rank is. Did you treat him, or do you know if he was treated?
He is. I do believe he's midshipmate. He might be master. He's master mate now. He works at trade.
So I'm assuming we know he's part of the crew. I'm assuming you don't have any more of the crew here, so he was released.
He was released.
Okay.
He has a fitness report. He was full duty. He's fine. He had some damage to his plate armor in the chest, and I advised him to make sure he got his armor repaired up. But it might leave a bruise. But yeah, he was fine.
Perfect. Yeah, I think he was the one that was very briefly captured, so we just want to talk to him as well.
Yeah, let me make sure. Oh, I just put my notes away. Let me grab them.
All right. It's like he heard us. Good day, Wickens. How are you?
See, look at there.
Yeah, Master Mate Morris sent me this way.
Oh, perfect. We had a few questions for you just to, see
Okay,
what
I'll let
you
you guys
remember.
talk.
Thank you. So it sounds like you were aboard the Ashen Wake, correct?
Yes.
And it sounds like you were even very briefly captured by those pirates.
Yes.
Can you walk us through the events that led to that?
To me being captured, or like what happened during the capture?
Let's start with you being captured.
Okay. So I was the secondary bosun on Ashen Wake. In the process of fighting them, the BC waters was very rocky, to say the least. So I accidentally fell off the ship, unknowingly, and I happened in the water. The fight continued. I swam to the nearest island, which was so happened where the two ships were battling it out as well. By the time I made it to shore, the Ashen Wake and the Pyra, whatever the ship's name is, I'm assuming you saw
The
report.
Pariah. Yes.
Yeah, Pariah. They were still engaging in combat, although it is clearly the Ashen Wake was losing. Both sails were either gone or nearly gone. Then the ship sank. I latched on to the nearest ship, and it so happened to be theirs. They were saying surrender, offering safe passage. They won't hurt you, such stuff like that. I boarded their ship, surrendered, and then proceeded to get mortar fire from the nearby privateer wall. So they took me inside. So that's how I ended up being captured. As far as things that happened during the capture, they simply asked me to drop my weapons and stuff. I did. I didn't have anything important on me, so they took my whole pockets. They proceeded to ask if I needed water, food, and such. It was good. They did give me some dragon's tongue, which I may or may not have drunk. And then once they made it safely out of the privateer's reach, a group of them entered into the cabin. and Kai began asking questions.
What questions did they ask you?
First question was, who was the captain of the ship? I was answering truthfully because I know Kai, he has an interesting relationship with the Navy, and I'm not sure what he actually knows. So I didn't want to lie to him, so I told him Sawyer. I didn't give a rank, but I did say Sawyer.
Okay.
And then he asked whose ship it was, and I said Silver Meadows. And then he asked what the ship name was, Ashen Wake. And then he asked who was on their ship, the Priya. And I said, only you, because there was a bunch of them, but he was the only person I actually recognized.
Okay, so you didn't recognize anyone else in the crew, I'm guessing.
No. I've only personally met Kai before, so I only recognized him.
All right. Do you have can you give a rough estimate as how many crew were aboard the Pariah?
I would say roughly around the 10 crew mark.
10?
Obviously, I don't think I saw everyone, but I would say around 10.
So you believe you saw 10, or you believe there was 10 total?
I saw 10, but there could have been more. Yep, and once I answered all the questions, they released me at a nearby port on the same island as the privateers, and I ran back to my fellowship mates.
Alright, so
Did
they
take any of your things?
Yes, they took some of my stuff. It was just a couple hammers and the junk mail I pulled from the mailbox. So they got 15 pieces of junk mail.
When you say junk mail,
it was literally spent like one of them was literally titled "Hot Navy Women."
like
18 plus.
like junk mail.
I need that
yes,
one.
actual junk.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a copy of that report in triplicate.
The Hot Navy Women one.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that.
It's for the record.
The admiral has a couple copies because
perfect.
Jesbar de Oncon brought copies apparently.
Of course he would have.
The admiral.
Of course he would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just mail like that. Nothing important.
Alright. So a couple hammers that mail. They didn't take any of your armor or weapons.
They did take my weapons, but they left my armor.
Okay.
Did you have the branded weapons?
Branded weapons?
They say Royal Navy on them.
It's hard to miss if you never inspected them.
I was trying to cycle them out, but I didn't know if I got everybody.
All my stuff was stock standard from the very beginning of the armor.
So it might not have been.
Oh, okay, so it might not have been. Well, that's fine. It's common 100%. Nothing special.
Yeah, nothing that we're worried about. Mackenzie, you're able to describe the Pariah, like color, or any details on the sails? Did you look at the back sail?
I do remember that there was the front sail was completely black. The second sail, it had white markings. Unfortunately, I never got a good. I could never discern what they were supposed to be.
It didn't look like a fat cat who enjoys lasagna on Mondays.
I think I would have recognized that one. That one's pretty recognizable.
It didn't look. Didn't look like a skull.
It might have been a skull. Unfortunately, I can't confirm.
Okay. Did you note anything about the ship color?
Black and red.
Black and red.
Black hull and then red trimming.
Red trimming.
Damn, pirates always got his colors.
I want to see like a blue pirate brigantine.
I mean, black is just such a good complementary color with so many others. It's like.
Did you see a bowsprit at all?
That's what I did earlier.
Yeah, like a figurehead or anything?
There was a figurehead. Unfortunately, I didn't get a good look at it because I was never towards the front.
All right. Anything else you can tell us about the design of the ship or anything of note?
They only took me into the top deck quarters, so I didn't see below.
No.
They did have 3 cannons on top, medium. They were using bar shot a lot. That was one of their main strategies, was using bar shot.
So
Besides that, that's the only thing of note. I really didn't see anything important.
All right. Anything else, Stern?
Nothing from me.
All right. I think that's all we need. Master's Mate, unless you have anything else you want to add?
Nothing that comes to mind.
You were, I'm assuming, seen by the doctors and cleared.
Yes, I was cleared.
Any light duty or any remaining injuries?
No, I did get shot, but it was just a what's it called? A glare? Not glare.
Glancing.
Yeah, glancing.
Yeah, glancing. Yeah, I just glanced off my shoulder, so just some aspirin and I'll be fine.
All right. Well, I know you're not on light duty, but take it easy, rest up. Make sure that if you feel any different, or you're concerned, or if you wake up and you're disoriented, report back here to the hospital and make sure you get checked out.
Nice, understood.
All right. Thank you, Master's Mate.
Night, thank you.
Have a good night. I mean, most of all those details line up. Obviously we expect some difference in stories, just everyone's memory. And we got a good enough picture of the ship to post the bounty on it.
Well, that's it.
Well,
I was really hoping we could identify more with the crew, but I know obviously not a lot of the Navy sees them.
There's only a few of us that fought him, so.
I would talk.
Can't have Miss Mouse in every engagement.
Indeed. Copies in Ops, NID, and Admiralty.
Is this the Ops copy, or is this an extra one?
I have another copy in Ops.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
I see you've got Wiccan's report in here as well. Pariah. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
How long was it? Was it 24-hour light duty? Was it longer than that?
Light duty until tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
I also, by the way, I should make sure that you're aware that I will have a early schedule for the next month or so. So I'll be up just after Silver Meadows usually leaves, around 9 Eastern.
So the schedule that you held today will be more of your schedule, not instead of the departing at 1 a.m. like you had last week.
No. Today, my Saturday, Sunday, I'll be awake like really early.
Oh, okay.
Noon.
Okay, that makes sense.
But during the week, it'll be about 9 Eastern, and then hopefully it'll go back because I much prefer my night schedule personally. But anyhow, I shall go mope and make sure everyone else is good.
All right, thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
I was really hoping that more of them would be on that ship that we'd identify. Dang.
Makes me think that he just adopted a whole new crew.
There's no way he's sailing without his core group of 4 or 5. I would be very surprised if Penny and Bailey.
Bailey, I expect, but I think didn't the Vice Admiral talk to Penny?
Well, so this, I learned several of this. So we had actually, do I still have this document on me? Am I still have this document? I do. So we had Kai, we had Carmelo, we have Swift, and Jack Anderson. Those are the 4 that we had listed as bounties. We had 2 more. We had Penelope and Bailey. We had Penelope and Bailey because they were signatories to the
treaty.
Yeah, the treaty, if you will. And so the instructions that we had through working with Ferguson and the Vice Admiral at that point was to list them, and relatively minor bounties, right? They're not pirates of infamy. They were charged essentially just with piracy because I couldn't find a major crime that was going back on your word. But of course, the plan, short of them being found to have engaged in more piracy, was never to charge them and hang them. The plan was always to detain them and question them, and maybe they get peed on, maybe they don't, maybe they get a nice talking to about having a treaty. Honestly, if they showed up here today and turned themselves in, I'd have no problem letting them go without a P. But the fact that they haven't yet, that I'm assuming that they are with Kai, and I don't think there's any reason not to assume that they are aware of what he's done and their current status.
Yeah, I think the Vice Admiral pulled them down because he talked to them.
Yes, that's what I spoke to D'Artagnan, and she said that the Vice Admiral instructed her to take it down. I suspect that he may have talked to them, and I would prefer to have left them up, but if he talked to them, I will consider those bounties fulfilled. So the Blue already pulled them down.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I should strike them from this list, but then I am going to add
2.
I believe, and you can check me on this if you wish. Actually, let me add this as removed. I don't know when this was, but we'll count it as today. 0, can't type. I believe I can add a bounty for a ship without any major checks, if you will. I don't think I need Admiralty to do that.
Ships, yeah, you can just add them.
Yeah, that's not a hard thing. It's pretty clear cut in case, right? Like, regardless, what do you think?
We think the ship give us proof.
We started at 10 gold. Doing a ship is pretty easy because we can easily charge that ship with a crime. Like regardless of the fact that we red flared it, it's a major crime to sink a pirate vessel. So this we'll add that X2 to Kai's report as well. He sunk he sunk another Navy vessel. I also want to up Kai's bounty. That I probably need to go through the Admiralty for.
What's it at 50 right now?
It is at 30 right now.
I'd say up at the 50.
If we move it up to 50, it puts him in line with Black Rose. They were all at 50, or at least Round, Gibbs, and Gray were at 50. Oh, so was Boomcroft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's earned it.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I want to double it every week. That would quickly get out of hand, but we wouldn't actually do that. But I will. The bounties already exist, so we're just upping it. I'll put that to the Vice Admiral and to the Admiralty and say, I want to authorize this to move up to 50, given the confirmed actions of tonight. He did sink another Navy vessel.
At the same time, we probably can reconfirm all the big Freeport Bounty Board postings for the Vice Admiral.
I sent him a copy of the. Basically, I have a book that is like the current bounties. I sent it to the Blue. I sent it to the Vice Admiral as well, and just.
No.
Puffins is supposed to be able to update that the Freeport board.
Yes, so is the Vice Admiral.
Yes, so
pretty much.
Yeah, so I sent it to Webster and I was like, hey, when you get a chance, we need to pull down the Black Rose ships that are up there because those aren't valid anymore. We can leave the individuals, and then I need to add the rest of these. Ivar and Jolene still have bounties, and then these members of Sticks and Bones, and the 2 Sinner ships, the Scourge and the Scavenger, I think it is, and now the Pariah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's by letter of the law, we're putting a 10 gold bounty on any ship that is involved in the sinking of a Navy ship.
Yep.
All right. Well, that seems to be all buttoned up, save for Silver Meadows when he wakes up and realizes he doesn't have a ship.
And when Murphy gets back, I think Kevin Ford was putting his frame for his ship in.
Oh, good.
If they get back.
Yeah. Did you see the report of the documents that they salvaged from the Ashenwick?
No, was it a bunch of the fake ones that I told him to keep on there?
Oh no, well, I haven't looked at them. No, it's not.
Oh, good.
No,
great.
It is not. There are well, some of it. There's a couple going postal notices. There's 2 order forms at Black Hand Brewery. There are no less than 3 active orders. There is 1 spyglass sensitive list of privateers, and then a blue book labeled Marine Training Courses. Yeah.
Good Silver Meadows.
Yeah,
he's first time either.
So actually, what alerted
when he
me,
started sinking so many schooners, that's when Fergus and I came up with the idea to stock his ships with shit intel.
Yeah, just put one of the waste bins in there and tell him it's his desk.
Yeah. God damn it! All right.
Yeah. So and actually, what alerted me to this was is it Middleton? Middleton, I think that's his name. I had basically a report on the red shelf that was like, oh, the Ashen Wake sank at 11 or 11 p.m. 2300 whatever, and we recovered these documents from it. And I was like, wait, what now? So was it Bingleton? I forget the name. That's probably it. But there was a explanation there basically that the captain had these documents on him at Defense Con and had given them to the sailor, I think it was Bingleton, to hold because he was too heavy to ride his goat apparently, and they put that in the anvil on the ship and they were just never taken out.
I'm gonna kill him. Well, no, I won't kill him. Fergus will.
Yeah. So.
Especially the list of privateers. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, in all honesty, we had a conversation before the storm about do we give a list of all the privateers with all their demographics to each captain and ask them to keep it with them. And obviously the pro was, well, then they all have that. The con was, if it's captured, a pirate has a list of all the privateers. And we determined that while that's probably less sensitive,
it's not the end of the world.
I think
kind of bad.
We actually, it's like, yeah, I mean, we would like to not have that happen, but also our privateers spend a lot of time looking for pirates. And so if the pirates start going to the privateers, congrats, you've made your job easier.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't have details on like who's in their companies, like more just like, hey, this is hey, this is where they live.
The biggest thing is I think this copy doesn't include it, but our full copy has ship names in it.
That would be bad.
Yeah, but and it does have operating hours.
That's bad because definitely pirate groups that will take advantage of that.
Yes. So to my knowledge, we've yet to have one lost, but obviously had the Ashen Wing suck further away from the wall and was outside of mortar range, we probably let's see what this. I think this was the Blues copy. Oh, that wasn't it. Oh, yeah, this does have operating hours as well. Yeah.
So that's a sit-down talk with Silver Meadows then, I guess.
Yes. We should not be keeping documents aboard the ship, especially ones that are spyglass. Honestly, the active orders don't bother me. There's a reason we do the intel attachments separately. Like, I'd rather not have them out there, but, it might be like, oh, we know that the fucking pirates are in B4. Like, okay, everyone that's in that area knows that. That's not high secret, intel. But like when we did the grids last weekend and we had the intel packets of like, here's a bunch of stuff you need to know, that stuff can't be on ships.
Yeah.
Because that includes a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think we've done what we can here. I'm gonna give Sawyer the day to recover, and then we're gonna talk about red flaring a pirate when you are already beaten to hell. There's no reason you couldn't green flare them. It probably would have come to blows because so Sawyer green flares, rolls up, sees it's Kai, knows he's wanted.
There's no way Kai's getting away from them because he technically has to arrest him.
Well, if Sawyer's smart and is assessing his crew and knows, look, if this comes to blow, he is probably not going to walk away with the ship. So operationally, the right thing to do there would be to flare, issue him a fine for, resisting arrest and flying black sails. Throw that fine at him, dip back into the privateer port, restock, and try and get back out in the water as fast as they can to engage. But with a ship in that state, red flaring, especially, obviously he probably didn't know it was Kai at that point, but especially once he did know, I realized they couldn't get out because they're essentially being blockaded, so they had to go out and engage. But I would rather they just sit in there all night and like Kai get bored and go home than face them on a
uneven footing.
Yes. There's no reason that we can't go toe to toe with Kai, but when your ship is already battered, you're at a disadvantage. We shouldn't be fighting a fight like that. There's no harm. Honestly, if Sawyer said, yeah, we green flared them, it was Kai, I assessed that I couldn't handle the situation, we were not going to be combat effective, and so we threw a fine at him, he laughed at us, and we went on our way, I would have been like, it would have been nicer if you captured him, but everyone returned home and we still have a ship. that would have been the better outcome. I don't know that Kai would have just sailed away from that. He probably would have pulled off and red flared and fired anyway, knowing him.
Alright.
Okay, well, I still have 2 hours of work to do tonight, so that's fun.
Yep. Oh, shit. I told Puffins. I thought I told you, but I can't remember, so I might repeat myself. Getting the ops clerks to loop me in on intel, so I have an idea with marine shit.
What kind of intel?
Just whatever. I guess just reports, honestly.
So we put together a mail summary, and by we I mean the clerks, which is a very basic rundown of everything that's come through operations. I don't know if you've seen, like, we have a red shelf in our clerk area, so like they grab everything from the ops, all the voyage logs, all that stuff. Goes in the red shelf on like a incoming mail folder, and once, if not twice a day, a clerk will basically sift through that, and kind of the crap that it's like this isn't anything of noteworthy just gets archived, but they'll go through a voyage log, and like this would be like, oh, here's a voyage log from Sawyer. Yep, engaged the pariah, helmed by Captain Kai, lost the Ashen Wake. It's usually that simple. Sometimes it's a bit more explanative than that, but it's all designed that if Puffins or I just reads that, we get an understanding of kind of what's going on for the day, and if it piques your interest, I can go down to that shelf and I can grab the voyage log.
Okay.
So if you want, we can toss a copy of that into your box.
Yeah, that might be good. Just
Yep.
so I have an updated, like, because I check my mail. I do check my mail every day, even if I'm not around.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. We usually get one each day. That said, Rose Kalani is one of our head clerks that we had one today, right? We've been getting more clerks kind of in the morning to help us with that stuff, but every now and then it might be, especially over the weekend if it gets busy. We had like a 17-page one on like Thursday because it hadn't been done for 4 days, and that got out of hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually it's just a couple pages, some random reports. A lot of it you're not going to care about, but there is a summation of all the voyage logs.
Yeah. All right. That's fine. Yeah, I gotta talk to Fergus about getting me looped in on NID stuff anyway.
Yeah.
I go over there and read through the archives when I can, but.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever want like a deeper understanding, do you have
Ian was asking about like possibly scouting this one this island in like A3 or whatever. I was like, that goes through Davenport and Puffins.
Yeah, honestly, I applaud McGrath's initiative. Unless McGrath is somehow a secret NID asset that I'm not aware of, I am aware of them.
Fergus kind of just takes him to teach him.
Yeah, which is fine, but
I brought up the marine intelligence thing to Fergus, and he nearly had a heart attack. But
of course,
you train some of the Marines for intelligence gathering and being able to scout a location.
I think that honestly, I would love to see Ferguson teach I know he's done some intelligence courses and things like that. I'd love to see him do a dedicated Marine one, because like I said, it's not that we're like, oh, we're gonna send the Marines to be spies. It's or we're gonna send a spy that's Marine trained. It's we're gonna have Marines that are scouting an island, that are engaged as they were in the siege of Shatterstone, and boy, it would be really useful if they knew what they're looking for.
Yeah. Yep.
Not that they don't, but there's a lot of tradecraft there that they could benefit from understanding tactics and objectives and things like that they a lot of them probably just are unaware of.
Yeah.
Do you have keys to our side of the building? Can you get in that ops area?
Pretty sure I do.
Assuming you do, and if not, I will get you them.
I think I can get into your apartments too. So
okay. I don't think you can get into our doors because we keyed those individually. But
at 164 keys, I think so.
What am I at now? I think you might have me beat by just a little bit. I'm at, where are my keys?
Fergus is at 180 something, I think.
Okay, I'm at 142. I don't have keys. I don't think I have any to like the harbor house or a shipwright or anything like that. But yeah, so if you can get into that main clerk area, I'm sure the clerks will be like, "What are you doing back here?" But that red shelf that's on that first floor back there, that has all of like the current, like I want to say active information, but it should have a day or two's worth of the incoming reports in it. So if you do want to like look through, it's organized by the date in which we did a summary for it. But you can look through there'll be like incoming mail that hasn't been summarized. There'll be a copy of the day's summary in there, the most recent one. And then there'll be a folder for each day that is still in that. You could just like open the folder from, August 7th, and there's all the reports that were summarized on August 7th. Most of them will be voyage logs from the 6th or the 7th or other stuff, but if you ever wanted to like actually read through the voyage logs just in their entirety, they're all on the red shelf, and you can just flip through them.
All right, sounds good.
You see, otherwise, every single one is up in the archive, organized by date. So if you're really interested, we keep them all.
Take a day. Yeah, I gotta take a day and maybe read through eventually.
Yep, they're there. I flip through them every now and then, but we train them to write everything down. But there's a lot.
Once I got my quartermastership, I got NID privileges, so I used to read through the archive.
Yep. I go over every now and then and just look through the black books.
Yeah, just the black books to see what's going on.
Right. I was gonna assess ensign applications tonight, but I guess I'm not doing that.
Yeah. How'd the lieutenant's test look?
Good. I think we still need Wallace to take his. He's the only one, but he was out this weekend, so we're doing his tomorrow. Obviously, like so the way we do it, like we have 2 graders. We're all grading the same thing, but because it is subjective, like I'll mark it. It's out of like, I think with both of us, like 150 some odd points. This version of it, like. Yeah, so I go through and mark it. The multiple choice is obviously the answers are more or less the answers, but the long forms are all very subjective, and then Puffins will mark it, and we just add the scores together, and then that's your score. So, if Puffin scores it in the same vein that I did, they'll all pass. Some of them just barely, but yeah, it's funny. It's like, oh, they all have to reach a benchmark, and it's like that's true, but the benchmark is 70 to 75%.
Yeah.
So if they're like, technically it's 75, but if they're like 72, we can be like, you passed. Or if they're 72, we can be like, you didn't pass. Generally, we don't do that, but
yeah,
it's a little bit for glaring. Yeah, which hasn't happened. Well, I mean, obviously Sawyer failed his before the storm, his first one, but yeah, that was. But when he passed it, he did not get the lowest score. I'll say that he did very well. So, but I see it's not something that you like get 80, 90, 100% on. It's something that like most people are in the high 70s, low 80s.
Yeah, and I'm sure now with Murphy passing, the lieutenants are going to be itching for it.
Yeah, I gave Hex took his this morning, and I have to get copy of this out. I get the Vice Admiralty to give it the nod, but essentially what we're doing is like ensignship is a program. The job of the ensign is to get through your training and sit for the lieutenant's exam and pass your war game, right? Like that's your goal. People shouldn't remain ensigns their entire life. You should move through that program and become a lieutenant. The lieutenant, however, is a rank and responsibility. They have a job, right? They are the XO, they are the LT. They're expected to spend some time in that rank. There's no like, oh, it's got to be 1 week or a month or 3 years or whatever, but it is not a race or a speed run to see who can sit for the captain's exam as fast as possible. And we were actively booping those that are a little bit too speed happy to get to that. But it is, your job. You have a job as lieutenant. You're to fulfill that. At the same time, you should be taking these academy courses to qualify for the captain's exam. Once they take the captain's exam, assuming they pass it, we'll schedule them a war game. Assuming that they pass that war game, they only get one shot at it, right? It's, as you know, it's not like you have to win. It's we might give you an impossible situation, and you might face the admiral, and it's a question of how much you get fucked up. So
yeah, I kind of want Hex to face the admiral again because the admiral knows how he beat him. That's liable not to happen again.
I kind of want to give Hex the Kobayashi Maru like 2v1 and put Hex on like the shittiest brig we can find.
Yeah.
And just be like, let's just see how long you last.
Bosun.
Yeah, shittiest brig with a we'll give him a cadet bosun.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah. So once they've passed that test and whoever is assessing the war game gives the nod, then it comes to Puffins and myself. And if we feel, I should also add their captain mentor has to basically recommend them before we give them the test, which they all would all do that right now. So it's a very low bar. But that is taking personal stake in your lieutenant. That if you do not think they're ready, don't recommend them. But then it comes to Puffins and myself, and it's not like, yeah, you're good, we'll pass you on. It's, do we think that you meet the qualifications of a captain? And not every lieutenant will. And if you do, and we both agree to that, then your name goes on a list of lieutenants who have qualified for the rank of captain, and that gets sorted based off of when you got on that list and your test scores. In the case of 3 or 4 making it relatively at once. And then once a spot opens up for a captain and the Admiralty asks for one, we give them that list, and they pull from the top. So I told Murphy and I told Hex, like, you take the test, all right, go about your duties. You're still a lieutenant. Don't hold your breath for the results of this. I'll happily tell you how you did the test, but we'll put you on the list, and we might not do anything with it for a month.
Yeah.
We're not going to just fill all the 12 spots we want to have for captains immediately. And there is a time zone difference. What I don't need is 2 more captains that are awake at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
That doesn't do us any good. Well, I mean, it does us far less good than one that's awake at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we're impressing on them that, like, the needs of the Navy comes first. And if the needs of the Navy are wishy-washy, then we can consider what you want to do. But if we're not ready for another captain, then you will remain a lieutenant. And that some of them are not going to like that. Tough shit.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to say it's minor of a thing getting in the ensign program and becoming a lieutenant, because that is a big accomplishment. That is dwarfed by what it means to become a captain. That we do.
Yeah.
I will gladly take any properly trained ensign should be able to qualify for a lieutenant. That's not difficult. There are some lieutenants that just may never make it there, and that's fine. But we'll continue to hone them and get them that experience. I don't think any of them are outright disqualified. Doesn't operate that way. But there are some that might be like, we want to see XYZ before we'll put you on the list. But Hex is set for his. I expect. I told them, bring me a completed academy book and a recommendation from your captain, and we will sit you for the exam. So I'm expecting probably this week Sawyer, Ramsey to come forward as well. Who does that leave us with? There should be one more. Burke, but we're considering Burke as a honorary ensign at the moment. There's another one.
It would have been Oliver, but there's that whole thing.
Yeah, there's that whole thing. Where's my list here? Is there only...
Technically Murphy, but he's captain now. So
I think there was only 6 of them. Where's my...
That's what I'm thinking, right?
Let's see.
Hex, Murphy, Ramsey, Sawyer.
Yeah, Ramsey, Oliver, Murphy, Sawyer, Hendricks, Burke. Yep, that's all of them.
Yeah.
Because, Flemington doesn't have one. Yeah, so I would expect to get accosted by them here the next day or 2.
Yeah, probably.
All right, I'm going to go I have to get general orders out for this week.
Yep, I'll let you go.
Thanks for...
I'll go see if Murphy's back or not.
Huh?
Should be by now.
Secretaries?
Oh, I was like, what the... A lot of horses here.
Yes, let's bring in Dr.
Morgan. Dr. Morgan's house was lost.
Oh, that's right. You're good. I was just momentarily confused when I was like, what? There's a lot of things happening. All right, carry on.
Sit.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I get the general orders out, and then I am probably going to call it for the night.
Huh?
We got to ask me for his exam. I'm going to be upset. What was in his inventory? What? Why didn't that move over? Ah, because he did that again. Okay, let's get rid of that. Settle. Oop. Boop, boop, boop. Let's move back over here to this. There we go.
Nope.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, I know that's where they were, but I thought the crews were split up and.
Oh, I have.
I think so. If I do these orders, I have to put you all in a box the entire time I do that. So I think I might just call the stream here, and get that done, instead of having to have you sit for 20 minutes looking at the box. Yeah,
Well,
that's what we're gonna do. Let's head upstairs to Tech Ops.
So do I.
All right, that is where we're gonna leave it for tonight. I'm gonna get some of this paperwork done that you all cannot see. Would otherwise spend the entire time in the box, and that would be uneventful. No meta in here. So that is it for tonight. I have been Adrian. You have been you. We will see you tomorrow night. Have a good one.
I'm